4, 1, go.
What?
What is up, all the fellow sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? Thank you for tuning in to one of the longest running pop culture and comic book podcasts in the world.
The world.
The world.
The world.
The world.
The world.
CultPOP Podcast Live. This is episode 117.
Is
hey,
it?
17? Is it?
It's like 119.
Can we?
Hey,
Damn it.
if you're out there,
we'll start over.
All right.
go count all the podcasts and let us know what episode this is.
Yeah. Come back when you figure it out.
It's 117 plus 1.
17 is
don't
my
come
favorite
back
number,
until
so I
you
was
figure
hoping
it
it
out.
was 17. Damn. If you're new here, this is a place where we talk about comics, movies, TV, werewolfism, and as an allegory for puberty, maybe? And cults? Question mark? We don't know. We'll talk about it. And all the other things that scratch your nerdy itch. Tonight, we're broadcasting to you from Young Junk HQ,
Young Chuck!
a bomb-ass podcast studio in Philadelphia, PA. I am Alice, your host for this evening. You may know...
Oh, now we're clapping? I was doing a snap. Damn it.
Oh. I like what's ever happening. You may know me from Inside the Morgue, where my co-host Jess and I delightfully deep dive into on-screen deaths. And joining me tonight on this return to Forks, Washington is JD.
Of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. It's a rad-ass comic shop that caters to rad-ass folks like you. So I don't have anything from Twilight there, though. I'm sorry.
That's doable. You do commissions.
Oh, I'll draw you an Edward.
Not a Jacob,
I was gonna...
Maybe a Bella.
I thought of it too late. I was gonna ask you to make me a shirt that says, "Where the hell have you been, Loca?" This is one of the lines in the movie, in this movie.
Well, it's too late.
I'll wear it for another one.
Okay.
Who's Loca?
He says it's a meme in the Twilight community. It's the first thing Jacob says when he sees Bella again after the breakup. She like shows up at his house. He's like, "Bella, where the hell you been, Loca?" And it became a meme.
I remember this.
So
If you were a
shirt.
Twihard, you would know this.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's the fun part of this.
Yeah, your eyes aren't even red.
Yeah.
Also,
Twilight superfan.
yeah,
Me.
yeah, he was texting me nonstop about it. It was pretty
It
great.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
In our booth is our expert producer, Dylan. Whoop, whoop. Dylan, are you on camera today?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
The thingy isn't the thingy isn't working the way I want it to.
Is it real? Is it a full moon tonight? Is that why you're not on?
Yeah.
Because he's wolfing
He's
out.
a giant dog. Right off screen.
Very eloquent though.
It's just a...
He won't stop licking.
But
You're gonna go bald.
But when you slowly look into his eyes, you could tell Dylan is still there.
Yeah, it's true.
When you see my reflection in his giant pupils,
Yeah.
you know that he's there.
know that he's still there.
And,
Dylan,
and did you turn when you turned? Like, in
Did you
puberty?
turn when you turned?
Did you turn? Was that like a thing? Did you get mad and then turn into a wolf?
no, he's
Roid rage.
What are the rules? You know, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
yeah.
fine.
You learn to train it. It's true. You learn to just sorry.
If anyone.
If anyone that's watching or listening wants to know more about you being a werewolf or just recording at Young Junk HQ, your space and the services, where can they inquire?
Right here. Right here.
You gotta, yep, exactly where y'all are pointing. That's where you can find my email. And if you send that email a message, you will reach me. And I am the one who can get you a podcast in this studio.
If you encrypt the message, he will also try and read it.
I love puzzles, so...
Noel
give me
hates
your best
puns.
He said puzzles.
Oh.
one.
You know what?
puns
Noel
have
hates
to do with
puns.
it?
I love the idea. I love the idea of him getting emails just like, "Do you want to play a game?"
We have someone in the chat, Penny Pretzel, saying, "I'm not afraid to admit that I love Twilight." Me either, Penny. That's why I'm here in an
yeah.
Edward Cullen shirt and red contacts, trying to look like Jane from New Moon.
There's no shame in this podcast.
No.
This is a safe space.
It
Yeah,
is.
we're
It is.
I've never seen a second of these movies before, so no shame.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also
Kelly.
asked us to show them the dog man. He doesn't have a camera.
He's shy.
Yeah.
He's shy. He's a
Shy dog
puppet.
man.
I'm a shy dog.
I miss you guys so much. Me too. Come visit us. You know where we are.
Yeah, you're not in another
you.
state. Or is she in another state?
No, she's in downtown.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I don't
Center
know.
City?
Where are you now? Christopher Goodnight's also there. My boss, who gets to listen to music while she works, and I do not, had the song from the end credits of Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh,
and I
1,000
almost
years.
ran up to her and asked, "Where the hell have you been, Loca?"
See? Chris and Saucy Goodnight gets it.
Look, I mean,
He gets it.
We don't know. Loca.
I'll look it up. You guys go. Anyway,
No,
tonight
like Loca.
Google
like,
Loca.
Like,
I'm gonna Google it.
yeah. All right, tonight, if you didn't guess, we're venturing back to the thick forests of the Pacific Northwest to check back in with the monstrous love triangle of Bella, Edward, and Jacob. That's right. It is part 2 of our ongoing Twilight coverage. New moon. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what we've been enjoying this past week and all that other fun stuff. A gentle reminder that before we get started, if you're live with us, feel free to comment like our lovely friends have been doing. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And if you're watching later, do all of that too. And we love a little back and forth, so please pipe up in the chat. And also send us emails at cultpopgo@gmail.com. And speaking...
We've got letters.
We've got a letter.
Oh, we've got lots and lots and lots and lots of letters. All right. Subject, purple monster trucks raining down on cheerleaders. Hey, y'all. It's been a few weeks since I wrote in, both with this show and Fresh Floppies, but I thought I'd share some things. Purple Rain. Well, it sure is a movie. I get that it's a product of its time, but the moment he slaps Apollonia, I stopped rooting for him. Same with Morris Day. I was kind of on his side throughout the movie until he made the joke about Prince's family there at the end. I guess you're supposed to root for Apollonia, but I just didn't care. One funny moment for me personally was in the opening moments of the movie. Oh, it's up here too. Opening moments of the movie where I had no idea what to expect, and he comes running in on his motorcycle in full costume. I joked to myself that he was like Batman. And then he does the disappearing thing while she was trying to talk to him as he is standing behind her. And it was like, OMG, he is Batman. Great music, funny movie, just not a fun or good movie. As for the cheerleaders and monster trucks, I spent Saturday and Sunday working crowd control for Monster Jam. They sold me the whole seat, but I only needed the edge, and a cheerleader competition. One day it was wild, out of control animals drunk on their own power, and the day before it was monster trucks. Question of the day. Here we go. What would your monster truck be called / what would its theme be? What colors would it be? Christopher St. Saucy. Good night.
Do you want to talk about, do you have any thoughts about Purple Rain?
No. I haven't seen Purple Rain since I was very tiny. I love the soundtrack.
About how tiny?
Like a pack of cigarettes tiny.
Oh, okay.
I was like
So-
that big.
So
That big.
your lungs didn't even work. You
Yeah.
were just
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. So I haven't. I keep meaning to go back and revisit the movie Purple Rain, but I love the soundtrack.
Chris, you're not supposed to root for him. He's a product of abuse and is abusive. He's abusive to his bandmates. He's abusive to her.
Yeah.
He's not a good person. That's what makes the movie good.
As long as you come away from that film knowing exactly what it's like when doves cry.
I mean, it's about abuse too. Yeah. It's a good movie. Sorry.
So what would your monster truck be called / what would its theme be?
That's
Something with
actually.
vampires.
I was going to say, it's got to be Edward themed, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was just thinking any vampire, and it's got to be red and black.
The
Go with
littlest
vampire.
vampire.
The
No.
littlest vampire.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the
And
name
it's
of the
like
truck, but it's like a big monster truck, so it's like when like a big guy's called Tiny.
So
Yeah.
it's an ironic monster truck.
Perfect.
It's the littlest vampire, and it's like the most terrifying monster truck you've seen. Yeah,
I love it.
And its colors would be black and red, and maybe a little pink, just for fun.
Mine would be Steve Buscemi themed.
Just Buscemi raps.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, just all the way
Incredible.
around. Just his eyes all the
Oh,
way around.
and then when you hit the horn, it says "Hello, fellow teenagers."
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
How do you do,
Yeah.
fellow
Yep.
kids?
Yeah.
I don't believe in diesel fueled engines.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah, I
Trying
don't
to
know.
save the
you made
world.
us look like
Yeah.
jerks.
Yeah, no, I don't
don't
know.
believe
I
in
actually
Steve
don't
Buscemi.
even. I don't even know. That's a great question. Can I randomly throughout
Would
the
it be
course of
like
the
a
show just
sport?
like come up with something?
Yeah, like as we're mid talking about Twilight, just yell out a monster truck. Then.
yeah.
You're gonna think maybe would you have a werewolf themed one? We'd like
Like a Jacob one. I don't know.
Penny Pretzel comments, the littlest vampire primed our bodies for Twilight.
yes, Penny gets it.
Oh, I miss you.
I never want to hear the sentence.
Primed
the
our
littlest
bodies."
vampire primed our bodies.
For anything.
Dot dot dot.
Yeah.
just full stop.
That's the greatest.
The
That's the
littlest
greatest
vampire
comment.
should
Keep
never
them
have
coming. Keep them
primed
coming.
a body
Ah.
ever. But anyway,
You're looking at it.
yeah, I abstained from this question, but I think the colors would be green.
Really?
That's all. Yeah, I
We're a
love
lot
green.
of purple.
I mean, I have a purple hat.
That's true.
Is this one?
You wear a lot of purple hats right now. All right, what do we got? Oh, hey,
It's like object
Hey!
permanence. Like
that was the intro.
That was it. We did it.
Now
Those were
what?
some good high fives. Wait, go. Nice. Ooh. All right. Hey, Cult Poppers.
Hey.
What is poppin' with Noel? What's going on?
Oh, hey. I watched a new movie this past weekend.
New Moon.
Other than it's new to me. New Moon was new to me. This is a movie that was new to me as well
Actually,
as is new.
New to everyone.
I saw the most recent or the newest Russo's joint.
Oh.
The brothers Russo on Netflix, The Electric State.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which was it's based on a book by Steven Spielberg or something. I don't know. It's a '90s book about just robots taking over or humans fighting with robots.
Is Millie Bobby Brown, right?
Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, and just every actor you could think of doing a voice of another robot.
Oh.
Yeah.
A graphic novel.
Is it a graphic novel? Yeah. Or was it a book? Yeah,
The 2018 dystopian science fiction illustrated novel by Swedish artist Simon Stalenhag.
Mm-hmm.
Set in an alternate technologically
2018?
ravaged 1990s, it follows a teenage girl and her robot.
2018? I thought it was much older than that. Oh, cool. Anyway, it's getting terrible reviews. Absolutely terrible reviews.
What about from you?
Yeah. How's
it's
your review?
fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Like it's technically proficient. It's pretty, but it's just really empty, kind of boring. The actors are acting.
Yeah.
It was just fine.
get it.
Like it was an incredibly well produced movie that had no. Like everything was like really, and it's not even like there's times like we watch and read tons of shit, and sometimes you could just guess in front of the movie because of all the information in your head. This was just on the page, obvious. Like, yeah, great, that's her brother. Yeah, great, sure, do that. Like it was very boring. It's like the movie just kept falling forward. But it's fine. Like there's a lot of hate about it, and it's like not even worth the hate. Yeah, and my nephews watched it. They thought it was great.
Oh, cool.
It's just.
I
not
like
for
when that
you.
happens.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If the kids are digging it.
Yeah. There's so many movies from my childhood where I'll talk to my parents about it. I'm like, remember that movie? It was great. And my dad's like, I hated that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it The Littlest Vampire?
No, I haven't asked him about that one yet, but
You
probably.
just want to hold that.
Yeah, I want to keep that. I want to keep that.
I want
to keep that.
I don't
close.
want my.
I don't want that to be
my
tarnished.
childhood shattered.
No. Space Jam was one I found out.
Yeah, Space Jam's not a very good movie. Even I went back and was just like,
I've still never seen it.
What?
Sorry.
The
We're gonna
second
make a
one,
Space Jam.
the second one made me. The second one made me realize how bad the first one.
I
was.
never saw the second
because
one.
everyone was like very nostalgic about like, oh, the first one was so good and this one sucks. I'm like, oh, let's check that. It's not
Same.
good.
It's the
What's
same.
wrong with you guys?
I still love it, and it was like prime for my childhood. And then I talked to my parents about it. My dad's like, I couldn't stand that movie, and you watched it so much. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
It's definitely like the worst Russo brothers movie. So like they did a. It is the worst. It's
No,
like
no,
18%.
I just
yeah.
The it makes me sad
Why?
because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, every movie except for the Endgame and what was the other one? The Marvel one. Infinity War.
and Captain America and Captain America.
Yeah, except for all the Marvel movies, which are stellar. I feel like every other thing that they've done since then have been kind of lackluster. And
The Gray
not
Man was
loved.
dope.
Was that good?
It was really cool. Like it was Ryan Gosling being like action man, and it was actually like well choreographed action. The plot was stupid, but it was just like an entertaining, trashy movie.
Charming.
Yeah, it was charming.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm on the Gosling train now.
with what's his name? Captain America was the bad guy with the stash.
Yes.
He actually calls him Trash Stash in the movie.
Trash
I'm like,
Stash?
this is cool. Like that's a charming movie. That's just
Chris
you know,
Evans.
That's the kind of movie. Yeah, it's Chris Evans. That was the kind of movie that is critic proof. Like this is just a fun sit. I know it's stupid. This was kind of dumb and not very fun. It was just pretty.
Yeah.
Like it was a very well done movie.
Yeah.
It's just this is very boring.
Bummer.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, The Electric State on Netflix. Check it out. It's apparently it cost $300 million to make.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Egad.
Yeah.
Speaking of Millie Bobby Brown, the last one she did, I don't think was, I think may have been panned as well, but I really liked
Damsel?
Damsel. I thought Damsel
I
was
still haven't
was a lot of
seen.
fun. I
thought it
really
was
enjoyed
fine.
that.
I still
I
haven't
thought the
seen.
movie was cool, but it looked It looked like garbage.
That's fine. I would rather a movie be entertaining and look like garbage than be $300 million and look amazing, but then be boring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun sit.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I think I'd watch Damsel over.
It's a better movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
JD.
oh, hey, hi. How's it going? I'll tell you what's popping.
Yeah, what's poppin'?
So, a friend of mine on Facebook, I go on Facebook once a day these days, and it happened to be the first thing up, is a buddy of mine commented about this show. It's a hard watch, but make sure you check it out. And I was like, you know what? I will. And this was me using my remote control to turn on the television.
Took him a while.
Yeah, yeah. Just,
Finally hit the power button.
You have one of those like AOL
yeah.
TV is the internet
Yes.
keyboards.
Yeah. And it's a show on Netflix. It's 4 episodes
Netflix.
called Adolescence.
.com.
And it is
Enter.
co-created, I want to say / co-written by Stephen Graham, it's a name that sounds familiar, and I wasn't quite sure why until I saw the man on the screen, and I went, oh, that guy. Oh, I love that guy. He's great. From Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh, he's
from,
in the show, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, I've
Wait.
seen him.
What? Yeah, he's in the show. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he's one of the main characters of the show. He's the dad. Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatched, a lot of the Guy Ritchie Johns. Dylan's over there with his paws going, yeah, because he's a dog.
Because he's a dog.
Callback. But yeah, this show, God, I don't even know. I had no idea what it was. It was a hard watch. It's only 4 episodes. Give it a go. And that's what I did. So I'm a little hesitant to reveal anything about it other than someone is accused of a murder. But dun dun dun. And then it is the arrest and the
Keep going.
following up and everything that just transpires in 4 episodes. The big deal about this show is that it's all one take. Every episode is one take.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, surely, for certain, there are CGI cuts that we missed. Like in the Daredevil hallway scene, right? It's like, oh, the camera got knocked into the door and it's black for a second, so you know that's where they cut. There are no seams in this show at all. I watched with an eye the entire time, being like, with my Alice arms, where's the cut? I need to see the cut. And there's not a single cut to be found.
That's what I was going to say. The 2 things I know about the show, that it's technically proficient because that's what everyone's talking about.
Goddamn.
And it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the highest approval rating
just
of any
watched
Netflix show.
Wow,
So
I didn't know
far.
that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's even a sequence where someone jumps out of a window from a classroom, and the camera just goes with them.
That's what I saw.
It's
How
insane.
they did that.
Yeah. Oh, did he show you?
Yeah.
I imagine the window itself was CG or
Basically,
something.
that's
but
it.
like,
But other than that, like, yeah, they went
so
with it.
cool. So
That's
cool.
awesome.
So my 100% recommendation.
Ooh.
I will say
You heard it here first.
it was second because I heard it somewhere else.
Well, but they heard
They heard
both
it here
They heard your
both of-
100% recommendation.
Both of the
here
things
first.
that were heard first here. You
true.
heard it here first.
Twice.
3 times now.
So good, but it is a hard watch. I will say that.
3 times.
Thrice.
Thrice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what was popping for me this week.
Hey, Alice,
Hey, me.
what happened with
What's-
you this week?
what was
Are you
poppin'?
okay?
No, I'm not actually.
Alice, are
Thank
you
you for
okay?
asking. Let's
Alice,
get into
are you
it.
okay? Are you okay,
No,
Alice?
sir, you okay?
Sorry.
Dottie Henson.
Yeah, I hung out with Noel's wife on Sunday.
That's right.
Sam.
Dottie Henson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam had some girlfriends together. We crafted and we were looking for something to put on while we were crafting. And Sam goes, "Oh, Alice, you're going to be excited." And I immediately turned around and I'm like, "Are you putting on A League of Their Own?"
What?
Have
Yes.
you never seen it?
How did you just guess that?
Because we've been talking about watching it together for
Okay,
forever.
that makes sense.
Actually, I like the idea that they were just like
We just-
there.
Yeah.
Like-
Alice, I just
Yeah.
sent a thought to your
No,
brain.
we've been
you just
talking
get it.
ever since we found out that we both, when we watch this movie, we have to quote it.
Mm-hmm.
I found that out through Noel, and I talked to Sam about it. We're like, we have to watch it together.
So good.
And so we were over crafting, and I wasn't fully paying attention all the time, but like every once in a while, Sam would say a line, and then I would say a line, and then we all sat down and we watched the end of the movie together. And I still get choked up at the end.
Oh yeah.
I
of
was
course.
like
Yeah.
holding back tears. It's such a good movie.
I'm trying to remember. There's 3 quotes that I can remember off the top, and that's like, "Don't get the clap." He signs the baseball.
Yeah.
Don't get the clap.
No, avoid the clap.
Avoid the clap.
Jimmy Dugan.
Jimmy Dugan.
What if oops, I'm running and all of a
All of a
sudden
sudden,
my
bosom.
bosoms
Falling out.
fall out.
You think there's a man in this country that's not seeing your bosom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell. And then, of course, there's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball. My favorite line.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna. And then smacks him in the face.
Yeah.
We're gonna win.
Still Will Angel.
Sorry.
My favorite line, because my dad also loves this movie, showed me this movie because I played softball growing up. My dad was my coach for most of my childhood. And I do like to swing at the high ones. And so he'd always be like, hey, Karin, lay off the high ones. And I'm like, but I like the high ones. Mule, nag. And I was like 10 when I was doing this. But it carried into high school.
And all the kids on the team were like, the fuck?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah.
You're doing
All
a
the
bit?
parents were laughing. But
You'll get it when you're older.
yeah, it carried into my high school playing. And my dad wasn't my coach anymore, but he'd be on the bench yelling it at me. And I'd be yelling back to the point where I got my hit and I made it to third base. And my coach came over to me and he's like, who is that man that keeps yelling at you? And I was like, he's like, should I be worried? I was like, no, that's my dad. We have a bit. And then that's when I realized my softball coach in high school had never seen A League of Their Own.
Oh, what a
Very upset.
loser.
I know. But anyway, it holds up. Fantastic movie. I still have to watch the show.
It's so good.
I've heard that, but it's
I'm mad that
canceled,
it's
right?
canceled.
Yeah.
It's still worth it.
Yeah, I know. I'm
still
going to
worth
watch it.
But also,
I've heard
it ends
only
in-
good things.
It ends in such a way where it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
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 Like, I want
Yeah.
more.
But
It's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a cliffhanger, but not the kind where it's just like,
Oh no.
I don't know what's going
Does
to
the
happen
entire
now.
team
Yeah.
fall
Yeah.
off of the roof?
Yeah.
I don't
like,
know.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, please see it. Even if you're not a big baseball fan, it's just such a good movie.
I saw this in the theaters.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, when did it come out?
92, 93.
Yeah. I was like 11.
1992.
Yeah. I went and saw it in the theater with my dad.
That's amazing.
How much did they try and get you to play softball
Not that much.
throughout the course of the day?
Not that much. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I'd be willing to.
just wait for it.
I'd be willing to.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Yeah. I because of the show that came out 2 years ago, we went back and revisited the film.
I had a friend.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you. I don't remember. You could tell me if it's not.
The acquaintance.
We had on paper.
Yeah.
Relax. We had a friend who we got in a legitimate argument because he truly believed that that's Gina Davis in makeup.
I learned that.
It's
I
not.
learned that.
No, it's not.
They just
From
dub her
Sam.
voice.
Yeah.
I didn't know until Sam
Wasn't me.
said it. And I was like, why have I not known this?
They dubbed her voice, like Gina Davis did the dialogue. They dubbed her voice and just had a different
Her
actress.
voice fits so well in that actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they cast well.
They cast very well. And I could see it now when I was watching.
He was
No, makeup
Afterwards-
is not that good.
he was
No.
adamant,
then.
like, no, it was Gina Davis. They aged her up. I'm like,
Nope.
you
You're a fool.
dumb little man. Like, I got that, but I was just
was
like,
Dylan.
I need you to fucking just live in this world
Yeah.
for 1 second and
funny.
just let it go.
I hope they're
pretty cute.
listening right now.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it is, so it must have been a really.
They're gonna
really
chime
fun
up in the
conversation.
comments, be like,
Probably
it is-
somebody
it
that
is
you
Gina
mother
Davis.
worked
yeah.
with.
It's
at
gonna.
one
It is
point
Gina
and-
Davis.
like, oh, well, I killed him. Anyway,
Anyway,
Hey.
moving on to another one of my movies that I'm obsessed with.
yeah. What are we talking about today? I completely forgot the topic.
The show.
We are talking about the Twilight Saga, New Moon, 2009. Rotten Tomato critic score is a 28%.
28.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Which is wrong. Audience score is 61%, which is still wrong for me. And still not high enough. This is my favorite of the Twilight movies. And I
Oh.
cannot tell you why, because I get sad every time I watch it. I don't know. It's like, I will put this on as a comfort movie sometimes. And I'm like, I'm sad right now. Why do I want to watch this? And I was talking to Ray about it at the shop because I told him that it was my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's interesting. And I'm like, maybe I just like when I'm sad, I want to see somebody else that's sad too and
Sadder.
like gets
Yeah.
through it. Like, I
At
don't
least
know.
I'm not scream dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
My favorite line of this whole movie too, though, was like, I guess I'm like an adrenaline junkie now. Like,
Yeah, I guess.
I guess I'm an adrenaline junkie.
After she gets on a stranger's motorcycle.
Yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, we got that. It's text on the screen.
The
Like,
best acting in this entire film is Anna Kendrick when her friend walks
Hey,
down.
what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they seem really great. Can we go?
Yeah.
Like
They
she's
seem really
she's
great.
yeah.
Go now?
She's so good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, it is written by Melissa Rosenberg, who also wrote Twilight 2008. Directed by Chris Weitz. It's not directed by Catherine Hardwicke this time. And it stars a lot of the same cast: Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, Taylor Lautner, Billy Burke, Ashley Greene, Peter Facinelli, Anna Kendrick, as well as some new cast of characters that I'm going to discuss a little later. And this movie is about Edward. Spoiler, not really spoiler, happens at the beginning. Edward leaves Bella because of an incident involving Bella. Jacob becomes her new best friend. But what Bella doesn't realize is that Jacob also has a secret that will change their lives suddenly.
Oh my gosh. Uh-oh.
Suddenly.
Was it sudden for him? He got jacked. That took a while.
yeah.
I'm going to get into
Those
that.
abs.
I'm going to get into that.
They were a little airbrushed, right?
I think they
No,
not,
that was-
not a lot.
Not
They-
a lot.
not
Only a little.
Only a little bit.
yeah.
They only used a little.
Those, at least 4 of the 6 were his.
I licked them and I did not get any paint on my tongue.
Yep.
Because they were on the television. Christopher Goodnight's in the chat saying they've canceled so many shows with sapphic storylines, and League of Their Own and Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies both got the boot.
That's
last
right.
year.
I forgot about Grease, Rise of the Pink
never
Ladies.
saw that.
I didn't either.
It was, I mean, that's the,
Sapphic.
maybe that's why, but also nobody watched them and it's expensive to keep IP.
Yeah.
I
was surprised that not enough people watched that because everyone I knew was talking about League of Their Own.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
go
no,
back to
that-
licking television.
We have
All right,
what were we
so
saying?
lick the television.
Yeah.
So a little bit about the development of New Moon. So after the very, very early success of Twilight, they Summit Entertainment greenlit New Moon like immediately in November 2008, right after this came out.
Weren't they writing it for, like, Melissa Rosenberg was like writing it for 5 months before the movie even
Yeah.
came out. Like they were like
Yeah.
crossing their
Yeah.
fingers and paid her just
Yeah.
spec script to start
She
writing.
I don't expect you to know this. Where
Maybe
in the novels are we at? Like, the first novel came out, second novel came out. We're working on the second novel. How many novels were out at this point?
3.
Okay.
I know because I read all of them in one summer. It was 2008. I read Twilight in 3 days, immediately went and bought this one. This specific book.
That's so cute.
And then I think I bought New Moon and Eclipse at the same time. You'll probably see my tear stains on some pages.
Not even
And-
signed.
But I did go, I knew the last book was coming out, Breaking Dawn was coming out at the end of the summer in August. And my cousin and I went to go to the store together. This is the same cousin that my dad would drive me to go see the movies with. We went to Barnes & Noble together like the day it came out and bought it. And we would have sleepovers where we would just be reading our individual books. And I'd be like, did you get to this part yet? Well, actually, she would say that to me because she read faster than me. But yeah.
I don't know if these things happen anymore. Like, do kids
They do.
read books?
They do.
Yeah.
Do they?
But it's like horny books now. Like
Now?
No, I mean like
Is this
explicitly
like-
horny books, like the Thorn
and
of
Roses.
Faces
Yes,
and
all 4
shit.
movies. Sorry, Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight's in the chat saying all 4 novels were out before the first movie was out. Yes,
Thank you,
I
Chris.
believe by August 2008, all the movies were out because that was the summer I was 15. And
All the
or books, sorry, not movies. And then November 2008 is when the first Twilight came out, and I'd already read all the books at that point.
Sorry.
Probably multiple times at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry for the sidetrack.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what we're talking about.
So what I understood was these books are magic. No, that they
Actually, want to open to a specific-
what was it? Summit Entertainment only had the rights to the first movie, but it's like literally that weekend they got the rights for the
Yep,
rest of the
they got
books.
greenlit.
And then we're like day 2 officially in production, and they even like called their shot like next November, which is a stupid turnaround.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
I remember it was always in November because, like I said, my parents would plan, or not always plan, but sometimes it just coincided with like Thanksgiving, and I'd be able to go see it with my cousin who lived in a different.
love that.
Being
lived
an obsessive
4
Saw
hours away.
fan, also, were you feasting like every year in October we would get a Saw movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then every November you would get a Twilight movie.
I was having a great time.
This is good stuff.
I was mentally unwell. I was undiagnosed, but I thought I was having a good time.
Yeah. In retrospect.
In retrospect, I needed medication,
I needed
but hey,
a hug.
I
You
was
want to play a game?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I-
sorry. Go on.
yeah. These books were my summer 2008, like that, all of them. So yeah, Melissa Rosenberg wrote this script again, same writer as Twilight, and at the same time she was writing this, she was also writing for this Showtime show Dexter.
What?
She was a writer for
Oh,
Dexter.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That was her start.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not know that.
So principal photography started for this in March 2009, and it wasn't in Portland this time. They shot in Vancouver, Canada. In March.
Wait, that's a whole different area?
Yep, I'm gonna get into that.
Say what?
I thought it was the exact same house and everything
Nope.
Oh no, they redid the house because they didn't have a bay window
Yeah.
for that shot.
for the
Yep.
shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And
catch.
May 2009 is when they went to Montepulciano, Italy. Sure, that's
Nailed
how you
it.
say it. That's how you say it, right?
They bothered going to Italy.
They went to Italy. They went to Italy for the Volterra scenes. What's that?
Montepulciano.
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 I
Gorlami.
am offended. by that.
Gorlami.
I only know that because it's also a type of grape that they make wine.
Was it? What
from,
does he say
so.
in Glorious Bastards? Dominic the Coco.
Dominic de Coco. Yeah.
So the fork scenes in Twilight, like I said, were shot in Portland. So Vancouver was a big change.
Wow.
Vancouver was chosen because it allowed higher production value, while the surrounding area contained beautiful forests and also some gray weather, which is the trademark for all of Twilight.
Sushan went, how come he's out in this? How come he's allowed out? Because he was going to school, and I'm like, it's very,
It's slightly overcast.
yeah, yeah.
The wind blows and he's fucked. So they came up to the issue of reconstructing key sets, like we were talking about, of the first film. So for the exterior of Forks High School, crew members were able to find a parking lot. And for the school steps, they needed to be filmed on a green screen with backing to match the original Twilight presentation. And actually, David Thompson's secondary school was used for the interior shots. So I think they're only interior for like the lunch scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like
I don't think you ever have another moment in the school.
no, you do in the classroom when they're watching Romeo and Juliet.
That's
That's
right.
just like any
That's
random
right.
classroom.
That's
Yeah.
right. When he's saying that he's jealous of
She's just
Susan.
there sitting by herself while all her friends are at the table next to. Like, come on.
Yeah.
God damn it.
She was depressed.
But you can still sit with your friends, just not say much.
But if she doesn't want to sit with them, what are they gonna force her?
It's weird.
Beg her?
Maybe.
I think in the books, I could be misremembering. I think they for a while they attempt to sit with her, and then she's just
Nothing.
so then they're
Ah,
all
fair
right, we'll give her space, and then she eventually comes around, and they're like, what?
Let me ask you out immediately.
I know.
Oh, you just sat down for the first time in months? Hi.
You're
You want a bone?
Yeah.
Can we bone? Movie? Bone?
He's so thirsty.
Yeah.
Mike?
Mike. Yeah.
Ugh.
He's such
Mike
a
Newton.
douchebag.
Yeah.
Gore. I gotta go
Yeah.
vomit.
So the Cullen House was one of the major
Baby.
match assignments that they needed. Yeah, he is a baby. And mainly because the Portland area had such a unique design with the big windows and all the light.
Pacific Northwest is awesome.
It's so awesome.
Every way. Sorry.
So they had to find a house in Vancouver that was similar and emulated high ceilings and glass walls and the surrounding forest location. And to keep up with the design of the original house, there were portions of this story that took place in rooms that we just hadn't seen in the original
Nice.
in Twilight.
Convenient.
So we'd never
Goodness.
seen their living room. We
Yeah.
saw their kitchen and Edward's room and
Yeah.
their main entryway. So when you're at the birthday party, it's in the living room.
Yeah.
And when he's talking about the Volturi and you see the giant painting with Carlisle in it, you're in the library, or I think in the book it's Carlisle's office, but library study.
So they didn't
something.
rebuild the whole home.
They didn't rebuild a whole home. They found a home that was similar in shot and okay, we can pass this as a living room that
How
we
can you
haven't
recreate
seen.
his spider monkey bedroom?
This can be the den or the yeah.
Hold up. So the first Cullen home that's all glass and cool as shit. Was that not made for the movie? That was an existing
Probably an
house?
existing
I
house
think
out
it was
there.
an existing house.
Damn!
in Portland.
Yeah.
Right?
That looks like a
There's
movie
a-
set.
I
There's
want
a
to.
lot
I
of
think you
crazy
can
shit.
go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Sorry.
And you can go to the Portland.
You can also buy a
Swan
Lego of the Cullen house.
Yes.
Can I?
Sent it to
Yeah.
me.
I think it's like $300.
It's $500.
That's too
you
many
shut
bucks.
your face.
I may or may not be going on my wedding registry.
Do it. I did that with
We
the
should all chip in.
with the I actually did that with the Super Mario Brothers big
Yeah, I've
block.
seen that.
I got
Yeah.
that for my
That's true.
birthday. I
Oh,
got that
that's
for
so
my
cool.
wedding.
We're all
Yeah.
gonna get it, and we're gonna build it. So
Right
you're not
here.
gonna have any fun of building it. We're just
It'll
gonna
be-
give it to you.
It'll be a live.
Can you mix up some of the pieces?
Yeah, just we're gonna build it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of Bella being on Edward's back, it's vice versa.
It's supposed to be 4 stories, right? I just winged it. Yeah.
You had random Legos from Kai. You just threw in some
Just some
Mario's
Diplo
in there.
Yeah. Spice it up.
Luigi. Hold on a second. So I remember when
Yes.
I first heard about the books, I thought that they sounded stupid, and then I was bored and virtually homeless in Walmart one month-ish, and I read a large portion of the first one, and then bought it and returned it, and bought the second one, and then possibly did the same with the last two. My man. I almost got caught shoplifting the host and quickly ditched it and then bought it.
Pink had mentioned earlier, I always had a good feeling about it, but I've never gotten around to watching A League of Their Own.
Watch
Are you
it.
referring to the movie or the show?
Movie?
Yeah, I want to know.
Both great, but gun to my head, watch the movie immediately.
It's so good.
So good.
I also want to address Penny said for her depressed girl staring out the window shot.
That's the one. Best shot in the whole movie. Very cool.
And they have it in the book too. October,
Blank page.
November,
Blank page.
December.
Blank page.
Way
That-
to crush that page count.
Yeah.
I know, right? She's really getting her money.
Yeah, that's like a YouTuber having like 3-minute credits, so they hit that 10-minute mark.
Yeah,
So funny.
that shook me to my core when I was 15. That part in the book,
That's
I was
so.
like,
I mean, that's cool.
It was pretty cool.
that like
I don't want to.
I was telling them about this before we started. I cannot explain to you how devastated I was reading this book.
If we get too haterade, stop us.
No, it's
This is
fine.
fun. I don't
It's
just
fun,
like
but
any
like
of the stuff. It's just kind of fun. To
I
poke
just
at.
like thinking about the mental state I was in when I was 15, and I was there. Edward broke up with me. I was there, and I was just like, I was devastated. It
Well,
was
it's
crazy.
neat though because you have a personality.
Yeah, thanks.
What?
Bella does not.
she's
Bella
got a
is a
personality.
blank slate. I hate her.
She's got a personality.
What is it?
She's an adrenaline junkie now.
Oh, that's
Yeah, did you? Yeah, we're gonna get into. She's
I guess I'm an
adrenaline
adrenaline junkie now.
Can we also address this scene
Yes.
where?
Please. Yes.
Sorry, where first off, the scene where to save her from the paper cut and the vampire, Edward throws her across the room.
Yeah.
He doesn't throw her. He yeets her.
He yeets her,
Yeah. This bitch
resulting in
empty.
her
Yeet.
cutting open her arm. So Carlisle, the doctor vampire, has to stitch her up.
Yep.
The sexual tension in the scene between Carlisle and Bella, she's like,
she's like, kiss me.
there's something happening. That's all I wanted to say.
You waited to watch that scene. That was really funny. Like
I know I
and
stayed in your house to watch that with you.
I thought about it. I thought about it for a little long, like afterwards too. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna protect you. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, man?
Slow motion toss you
There's
across the
no
room.
way she didn't also break some ribs.
Yeah.
But
Like there's no
that was a big.
that is such. Was that in the book like that? Like, I'm gonna throw you across the room. Such a weird fucking choice. How about the tables next to her or something like that? Like, does he have to
I
toss her?
understand. I
How
understand
about
the fact
picking
that.
her up and running?
Yeah.
You're
like,
so fast, you're a spider monkey. Get out.
The quick reaction of trying to protect her and like not knowing his own strength at that moment and like accidentally tossing her like a rag doll. I get it.
He's 100.
But it's also hilarious.
It is really
It's
funny.
really
That's
funny.
also a
Yeah.
memeable moment in the movie. Yeah. Back to production.
Oh, yes.
No, it's okay. The Swan House, the exterior was accomplished by recreating the house on an empty lot, and for the interior, they shot on a stage in Vancouver and built like set pieces for the house. They used pieces of the house and also just a different sound stage in Vancouver to do other rooms.
Were a lot of these choices made because of the fast turnaround? Like,
I'm
it
guessing.
takes a while to get to get a production up. Like,
Yeah.
licensure, like permits and stuff for locations, and then we're talking like, hey, we just filmed this movie. We're gonna do another one in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, what's available, what's not available. Let's rebuild it.
Yeah.
Go to
I think
Vancouver,
so.
like-
There was a quick, rapid turnaround.
Yeah,
there.
like they.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how wild it is to literally turn in a script and less than a year later, it's in theaters.
Yeah.
That is not a
Scream
normal
2?
thing. Yeah, Scream 2 was
Yeah.
like 9
Nightmare on
months.
Elm Street 2? Same? Similar?
X-Men First Class, less than a year from
No
start
kidding.
to finish.
Really?
Whoa,
Yeah.
Wow, that's not bad.
I mean, it's like
one of the best one,
X-Men
yeah.
movies. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Next spot was Jacob's house. They were using the Quileute country in Washington as their base, so the production team decided to place Jacob's house on like the edge of like a foresty type of territory, rather than like within a community, because they wanted it to represent his attachment to like the wolves and his wolf pack. And to Chris Weitz, I know, sorry.
His Chippendale dancers.
To Chris Weitz, Jacob's house was like the stepping stone into the forest world where the werewolves reality starts. And then next, Volterra, Italy. What?
I don't know why that makes me think.
Reality of werewolves.
No. I just love that. Like, so Chris Weitz has done a couple of other movies, but one of them being like American Pie. I like the idea of the him and the White Lotus guy did American Pie together. Mike White.
Mike.
Mike White, yeah.
Mike.
But I love the idea. I love the idea of the American, and this is going to sound hater, but it's actually pretty funny. The idea of the American Pie guy trying to like thematically work out where to place his house and how that means for his character, like working it out on paper, like the edge of the forest, and he's stuck between worlds.
He's a
You know,
wolf, man.
But then, like 5 years earlier, like, what if he fucks a pie? You know, like,
But what if?
yeah, but it's warm. Yeah, it's just weird. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
No, it's fine.
Hey,
Fucking pies. Yeah.
Artiste. I'm gonna make sure he did do American Pie to make sure I'm not wrong.
So Volterra, Italy. So they scouted more than 12 locations to use for this.
Gorgeous set. Or
And
location.
it took place in, oh my God, Montepulciano. Did I do good?
Psst.
So it was decided as the best representation of what was described in Stephanie Meyer's book for that dramatic scene of her running through the fountain, through the crowd of the festival, to stop some airbrushed abs from exposing themselves to sunlight.
Actually, I feel like he could have done a little bit more. Like poor Jacob did all that work to get buff for that movie. What's his name? Tyler Lautner.
I'm gonna
did
get
all of that shit to get
they were gonna
to get that
recast
look.
him if he didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tyler Lautner.
They were gonna recast him, and he heard about it. But so, I'll skip to that, and then I'll go back to what I was gonna say. So Taylor almost didn't return as Jacob because in the books it's described as like suddenly Jacob he like looks like maybe he's a little bit older than his age, like he's 16, but he looks like he could be 18.
Yeah.
And then suddenly when he stops talking to Bella, and then Bella sees him again, he looks like he's 25.
Oh, okay.
And so they're like, all right, we need somebody who can actually look
Pull that
like
off,
look
yeah.
like they're a buff 25-year-old. So Taylor Lautner heard this, and to keep his role, he went on a strict workout regimen and gained 30 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
Holy cats.
So they
was
weren't
not
airbrushed
healthy.
abs. He worked for those.
Wow. I'm sorry, Taylor.
Yeah, I think he might have discussed some issues he's had from going through that process. Again, I have like he worked for it. They almost didn't cast him again because they're like, we need someone who looks like not like a
Man,
cute little
what
teenage
good
boy.
thing he heard about it. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if
think
they
they could
maybe
just
I wonder if they
ask.
maybe didn't tell him. They were like, okay, we'll cast you for like the pre-werewolf
Right, the
guy.
baby-
And he's like,
baby
wait,
wolf.
I want to be post-werewolf guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, he gained 30 pounds of muscle, and this is from like this is a short film time. Like
Yeah.
within a year, he gained
That's
within
crazy.
less than a year, he gained 30 pounds. So like it was
Unhealthy.
announced in November 2008 that they were filming it, and they started in March 2009 shooting.
Wow.
So
Whoa.
he put on
Well,
30 pounds of muscle.
I mean, plus or minus like 2 months because he might have
Yeah,
heard about it.
that's
like,
still insane.
Before they started like.
The hair on his stomach in that scene was gross.
Oh yeah, for the Volterra scene where he's coming out and
Edward.
he's
Edward.
got body hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His little trail.
yeah, he's got a little happy trail on his stomach.
Sorry he went all natural, Penny.
So a lot of the same cast of characters is in this movie as we discussed before, but with the notable introduction of the Quileute Wolfpack and the Volturi clan. So
The boys.
The
Yeah,
boys. So we
my boys.
have
The shirtless
Kasky
boys.
Spencer as Sam Yulee, who's the leader, the Wolfpack leader.
Alpha.
Tyson Houseman as Quill
The
Artera.
Tate.
The Tate.
Andrew Tate.
The Cobra Tate.
It was a joke.
The
my
Wolfie
God.
Tate.
That guy sucks. Go ahead.
Kiowa Gordon as Embry Call, Alex Mraz as Paul LaHoot, Tinsley Corey as Emily Young, who's Sam's fiance.
She was wonderful. One scene.
Yeah, she was great. She had the scar on
Very
her face,
charming.
though. Yeah,
Don't stare.
don't stare. It upsets Sam. Martin Sheen as Arrow, who's one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah, the name.
Different Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, maybe I got the name wrong. Hold on, let me check that.
Because I was like, where is Martin Sheen in this movie?
It's President Whitmore.
As who?
Wait,
As
I
one
might
of
have
the-
gotten the name wrong. Hold on.
You keep going. I'll look.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's Michael Sheen. I think it's Michael Sheen. I said
Oh, Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Yeah, Michael
Yeah, I
Sheen.
fucked up.
Oh, yeah, I
I
love
fucked
that
up.
guy.
I just typed.
Mikey Sheen.
Mikey Sheen.
The shitty Volteri.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, that's where I know. I do know him.
Yeah.
The main Voltaire, the touchy boy.
Yeah.
Touchy boy, yeah.
The convenient touchy boy.
Yeah, not Michael Sheen or not Martin Sheen. Sorry, Martin Sheen.
Again, also.
Sorry, Martin Sheen. I meant
Martin Sheen would be dope.
I meant Michael. Jamie Campbell Bower as Caius,
Vecna.
who you texted me. You're like, Vecna's in this?
Can I do an impression of his role in this movie?
I
Perfect.
almost.
Perfect. Nailed him.
So I did my red contacts in, and I put them in. Like, so I got home from work and I showered. Keep doing it.
We both know how this will go.
Yes. Love this. So I showered, I dried my hair, and then I just put in my contacts first because I don't want to touch my eyes after I do my makeup.
Sure.
And
As one does.
And so I kind of looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, if I just like straighten my hair a little bit, I could look like Jamie Campbell Bower's character if I had no makeup on.
It is a choice. He's got one line in this movie, and he is just like slouched down
Yeah.
in his throne.
Yeah.
But I did immediately go Vecna.
Yep.
Yeah.
Costa did the same thing. Christopher Heyerdahl as Marcus, who I wish we learned more about in the movies. He's like he's the quiet guy in the Volturi. He's the third one in the chair.
Oh, the one that
on the
seems
left?
tortured.
Yeah.
Big tall.
He's tortured for a reason, which we'll get into. I think we get into it in a clip.
Is it because he's upset about being marble?
He kind of hates it. Yeah, he does. Breaking
does-
Dawn Part 2 is when we talk about
So
it.
does Blondie.
Yes, and we're gonna get into that next time.
Yeah.
Why she hates it. Dakota Fanning is Jane, which is the look that I decided to go for tonight
Works.
instead of just staring into the camera like a creep.
Every so often, she just
staring-
mentally gives us pain.
Staring into everybody.
Well,
everybody, quick, do what's his name?
What?
The fucking Vecna
Caius.
homie. Everyone, do Caius. Okay. It's a drinking game now.
Yes. Please, can we make it a drinking game? Before I was talking to Noel and I said I was going for the Jane look, and he's like, "Which one's Jane?" I was like, "The one who inflicts pain." He's like, "Oh, so how are you going to inflict pain on us?" And I'm like, "This podcast,
Yeah. Welcome.
making you do this."
You're watching it.
And Cameron Bright is Alec, who we don't see much of. I think he might be one of the vampires that fights Edward in the dramatic scene, but he is Jane's twin.
The tall guy, the big guy,
No, I think it's a smaller one. The other, I don't know if I have that.
the one that what's his nuts fights is like a big guy, right?
That's Felix, and I forgot to write the actor's name down. So never mind.
I think we're fine.
Marcus looks like Kane the wrestler.
Yes,
Yes,
I agree with that.
I agree.
Who is now a politician?
Is he really?
Yeah, in like Minnesota or some shit.
Aw, I like Minnesota. I've been there.
I like Minnesota.
Been there once, Minnesota.
They got cheese,
Ew.
right?
Notably,
Wisconsin. Sorry.
yes, no.
I'm sure you can get cheese in Minnesota as well.
None. You get no cheese in
All I
Minnesota.
know is that they're in the Bears division and they suck.
Aw.
Anyway, go on.
What were we gonna say?
I wanted to say this for Noel.
Yeah.
Because this film has a much warmer tone
It's true.
than Twilight.
Ah,
So you can
right.
enjoy some of the greenery more, which we didn't get in
It is-
Twilight
it
because of the
is-
blue tint.
This movie, the first movie was just all blue steel. This movie is like, hey, did you know there's seasons?
Yeah. We show them to you.
Yeah.
There's
in
a
one.
possibility. You see them all in the window. That's the song.
But still, you're in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, even if it's overcast, the trees are still brown
Yeah.
and green.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah.
Side note, my son, because it's winter right now and all the trees are leafless, he'll look out the window. The trees are broken.
He's right.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Yeah. That's what I tell him.
Yeah. You're right, son.
You're right. They're
Maybe
broken.
we only hope they return.
they're
but
never
if
coming
not,
back.
we should all go. No, I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
As in move to a more metropolitan area where you don't see the death.
Oh, duh.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Okay. I get it now.
You guys are dark.
Yeah. I'm like Edward. I'm Edward in the beginning of this movie, dreaming of death.
Dreaming of yeeting my girlfriend.
Yeah. So Christopher Waite stated that he wanted the golden tones for this movie because he was inspired by Italian paintings.
You mean like the very fake Italian paintings that are in this movie, like
Yeah,
twice?
the one
Okay.
fake
Yeah, that
Italian
one.
painting.
Yeah.
Oh, but come on, you get to go into it.
Yeah, but when you go into it though, it does look like a weird Photoshop filter.
Yeah.
It
a
does.
little
It
I'm
does.
like, oh, that's like a fake oil painting.
They
That's pretty
had
cool. And then
a
they go in,
year.
you're just
They
like,
had a year.
bit. Yeah. Yeah.
or don't do it.
It's fine.
You reach
so-
for the stars. You don't let Noel
Yeah.
tell you not to reach for the
No,
stars.
hey, it's fine. This movie's wonderful.
Yeah, so
10 stars.
you're gonna laugh about like all the different camera angles used to portray different examples of relationships, aren't you? Okay, so film was used as opposed to digital. Two Panavision cameras, a high-speed Arri 435 camera. I don't know any of this. Shot 150 frames per second. A Steadicam and a Vistacam were all used for visual effects in all of the shooting in this. Camera shots, according to the director Christopher Weitz, who also directed
American Pie.
American Pie.
He co-directed with his brother. Paul.
Co-directed American Pie. He wanted to portray different story points with camera angles. So when Bella was with Edward, the camera moved on a dolly in a rigid straight line to portray everything was smooth and that they are perfect together. Or are they?
I did notice some of this shit. Also, too, the matching with the transformations is really well done for less than a year.
Yeah.
But go on.
When Bella was with Jacob, a Steadicam was used for a more fluid and organic feel because things just feel like really natural with him. Like she's able to just get into it. And then there was no explanation for this, but when she's with her other high school friends, a handheld camera is used.
That shit's noticeable.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot, if we're talking about production now, right?
Yeah.
I liked a lot how we keep talking about the shot of her in her bedroom switching the season shades, but he does that a couple times, like with the bike rebuild. Like he does a lot of like hidden shot or hidden cuts in shots to show the passage of time, which was very effective. And you could only do that with like really, really good matching mechanical shots, which they also used for the transformations. You know, like Jacob goes from this big to this big in the same dolly shot, so you have to like electronically like have it match,
Right.
which is hard to do unless you have one of those cameras that just like I'm lost for words, Dylan, where you have to actually like program in the exact motion, right? Like twice over a plate shot.
Or like a slider? What are you talking about?
Well, like
know.
you have to have like you literally program in a computer the motion of the camera to match two different plate shots in order to like make a transformation.
Yeah, I mean like setting keyframes.
Yes.
Okay.
It was cool. It was all cool. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The CG was actually pretty solid considering
This
the
was
amount of time.
Yeah.
better
Oh, is that next?
That's
For-
nice. This is
for a movie that was done in less than a year. It is a prettier looking movie and it is a better produced movie.
I think
And there's
one
none of those
reasons-
shots with the. Remember from the first movie where they're running up the mountain?
The terrible like Dragon Ball Z looking shots are just like.
damn Yeah. And he's screaming. Yeah.
Well, like I in my head, I heard the stupid like Flintstones. Like,
like the Mr. Krabs walking.
yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
But anyway, Catherine Hardwicke.
Pink
Great.
is in the chat saying that I'm a film camera nerd. Thank you for the details.
Ah.
I'm glad that I included it. So overseeing visual effects was Susan MacLeod, who was previously worked with Weitz on The Golden Compass. And
Saw it.
Tippett Studio created the computer-generated wolves, while Prime Focus of Vancouver handled all the vampire effects.
Tippett's no joke.
Smoother running, I'm assuming, is what the Prime Focus handled, as opposed to the weird running of Twilight. So Tippett...
A new sound effect every time we talk
Yeah.
about it. How do you do a chicken noise?
Wait, everybody do Caius.
Hooga, hooga.
Tippett was able to reflect leadership and human muscle size by adjusting certain features of the wolves, such as their fat, height, and weight. And they went to a wolf mountain sanctuary to study like wolf movement habits and like how they moved as a pack.
Embedded for 5 years
Yeah.
as a wolf.
Yeah.
A whole family.
Wearing a wolf
yeah.
costume
I was married in that sanctuary. I had a family.
to a wolf.
Yeah.
Married to a wolf.
Wolf. Anyway.
The wolf scenes were shot with or included shooting plates, so photographic imagery into the CGI creations are integrated. And in the book, the wolves are described as literally being as big as horses. So full-scale aluminum and board cutout wolves were used as a visual reference for both actors and the crew members.
Did
I
they
wanna
have
see
fuzzy
these,
ones?
I want to see these cutouts.
Or just like cardboard ones?
I don't know.
It'd be cool if they had fuzzy ones.
I bet you there's a Twilight museum. I bet you
I did read. I don't
I'm
know
sorry.
if
There's
it's-
are you kidding?
No, it's
There's
in
a
Forks.
legit Twilight museum.
I think it's in Forks. I don't know
There's
how
a
much they
museum
have.
for everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in Forks. Remember when I talked about the Forks Festival?
Yeah,
that
that's
they
right.
do every year. I think
Yeah.
it's like a main stopping point for fans.
shit.
Yeah.
I did also read somewhere that they basically only did Jacob's wolf and then just like
Yes.
half-assed the
Yeah.
other ones based off of his design because that was the hero wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
That was it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. They
Nailed it.
basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do have a plot question.
Yes.
When did we talk about the movie? Just like we're talking about.
Yeah.
When do we start the
When
show?
did we start?
This is
Are
really
we
good.
recording?
This is
Right?
great practice.
Yeah. I was just gonna touch on music and then critical.
Did what's his name actually die? Edie Gathegi?
Harry Clearwater. Yes.
Is that his name?
Yeah. Well,
characters.
he sees the vampire and goes to shoot her, and then a wolf gets him, and he's
No, the guy with the dreadlocks from.
Oh, Laurent.
Does he actually die?
They got
That
him.
is such a weird,
They got him.
mostly off camera.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
by
we
the
took
way-
care of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I'm like,
Bella
That's kind of okay.
Bella
It's a choice.
escapes at that point, but she thinks because she doesn't know what the wolves are, and she doesn't know that they're literally made to hunt vampires. So she thinks like, oh, those wolves are dead.
Yeah.
Like, and Laurent
He
is
will
coming after
murder
me.
them. Yeah.
So like, I think we don't see it because she doesn't see it, and she thinks it didn't happen. And
then
then
they show it anyway.
Then they show it anyway when Jacob's like, no, we got him. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Yeah, we ripped him apart. He's dead. Yes, he's dead.
Oh, another thing that really pissed me off in the movie. The whole thing. No.
Being here right now.
Credits.
Okay, so she.
Oh. Large wolf stand-in. Lot number
Dylan showing
335.
us a picture of
It
the wolf
is
stand-ins.
Not fuzzy.
No, it's just white board.
It's not fuzzy at all.
Yeah.
You know what?
As
Can we
opposed
vote
to
on- or
Dylan,
can we-
the werewolf, who was very
Can we
fun.
buy it? How much is it?
Immersion destroyed. Oh, it's closed.
Ah, closed. Damn it.
So there is Bella decides to jump off the cliff. It happens right after the scene where she confides into Jacob, or somewhere after the scene where she confides to Jacob, like, I know what she's here for. She's coming after me.
Yeah.
I was under the impression to the scene leading up to that like, oh, that's going to be her motivation. She's going to maybe try and off herself to save Forks or whatever.
No.
But no,
She's just an adrenaline junkie now.
I'm just like an adrenaline junkie now.
An
And for
adrenaline junkie
and that out of everything in this movie, that pissed me off. Because it's like the most weird, selfish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That really bothered me.
Yeah.
It made me stop rooting for her altogether because we see her be reckless. We see her be overly emotional. She's just given this information that there are people in her neighborhood that are dying because something is coming after her. And I'm like, yeah.
Time to die.
Yeah, well, not even like time to die. It's just like your loss, your pain. Now you have a noble reason to make this choice.
Yep.
And they go out of their way to say like, no, it's just cuz.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
She's an adrenaline
Because I want to see Edward's
She
ghost.
hallucinates. I also want to say, when I was reading the book, deep in my 15-year-old
Adolescence?
space, yeah, I kept convincing myself, like, as she's having visions of Edward throughout the book, that he was somehow, that was another one of his powers. He was somehow, projecting
Right.
himself.
no.
No.
Wait, what?
She's fully, she asks him when he comes back, when he comes back, and
That's
they're,
book 3.
Oh.
4.
4. She asks him, like, were you like sending me messages or something? Like, and he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, I would see you when I'd be doing dangerous stuff. And he literally is like, we should like get you to see someone. And she's like, no, just make me a vampire.
Wait, so then none of that was in the movie, though, right? It's not explained in the movie.
it's
Did
not
I miss
explained
that?
in the movie.
Oh,
No.
Even
I thought he
She's
was using his.
She's hallucinating. Nope, she's hallucinating.
even
Whoa.
her
And she's immune to his telepathy anyway.
She's so unwell.
She's
it
unwell.
It feels like a weird choice from Stephanie Meyer. Like, you know, as the writer, as the director, you're the voice and eyes of God for your story. It's all of the things that you created are manipulated into this one moment where this person who is probably suicidal anyway has an excuse to be nobly so,
Yeah.
and you explicitly take that from her and just continue to make her selfish. It just seemed so
Maybe she
weird.
didn't want the main character of a book that a lot of teenage girls were reading to consider suicide.
I mean,
was it.
then that removes the entire, because she's doing that. She's putting herself in danger to feel the whole time, and the natural or the what is it? The logical conclusion of that is to have an excuse to, and then be proven wrong. They give her an excuse to, and she gets saved, and maybe she'd learn a lesson. But no, they literally remove that narratively from her, which is, I think, the opposite of the intent of Stephanie Myers, if that's the case, of not wanting to. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just saying, Stephanie Myers has made some choices.
And those choices perplex me because they
Yes.
don't necessarily make sense in any kind of logical narrative way.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah. Sorry. That
I'm
like,
just
No,
it
you're
took
good.
me it took me out of rooting for her in any
Yeah.
way because it was the act of is a selfish act that is emotionally charged. But narratively you can like at least understand why they might make that choice in that moment because the plot brought you there. And then they just take it away from
Well, then
her.
she also does a similar thing with Edward, which he does try to commit suicide, and it's only because
I
I'm
feel
sad.
bad. Yeah. I
No,
just-
it's because he couldn't live in a
World without where
doesn't
she
exist.
exists,
which is
Yeah,
just
that's where she doesn't
said
exist.
and in the movie not earned
No.
because he's not in the fucking movie.
But wait,
so we
did
don't
you-
see his pain.
Did you get that it was a Romeo and Juliet parallel though? Did you get the
Oh.
subtleties of that?
The close up
Did
of
you
her
get it?
sleeping
Sleeping next
Did
with
you
Romeo
get
and
it?
Juliet, the
Where,
novel.
like when Juliet pretends she's dead
sorry,
and then
but if-
Romeo actually dies?
Wait a minute.
I get okay.
Did you get it?
I logically understand that, but when you have to use another piece of media to explain your media, you bad.
I don't know.
For more on what he's saying, you should listen to this podcast that I listen to called. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I was. It's yes, ending. Good.
That was funny.
I'm sorry.
I
movie's
also
great, though.
want to
5
say, I think in the book, if I'm remembering correctly, again, I probably haven't read this since maybe 2010.
We'll wait.
When I
It makes me want to reread it though. I kind of want to.
Yeah. And I think she just hears his voice. Like, I think it's supposed to be more like her instinct to not endanger herself is Edward's voice telling her not to. But because they wanted this man's face in the movie, they made her have these visions.
Also, very cool. Speaking of special effects, very cool effect when something will like.
When she's on the
Or-
bike, it's the coolest.
Yeah.
Oh
He's,
my
like,
God. I
constantly
think when
showing
she's
up.
in the water,
That's pretty cool too.
the water, and she's like looking at him as she's drowning, and then Jacob literally pulls her away.
good.
Do you get it? Do you guys get it?
Wait,
Jacob
what?
pulled her away
Yeah, but we
from
also-
Edward. Do
Oh.
you get it, guys?
What's her nuts is in the water, I guess.
Victoria, yeah.
And-
Yeah, so hold on. So she's coming.
She's on her
to
way.
Her, we see her swimming towards us, and then she bonks her head, and then she goes to sleep in the water, and then Jacob pulls her out. She couldn't. What? Why was she just hanging out over there?
Wolves. The wolves in the water.
It's the
Wolves.
so okay. So they're pedal, they're quadrupeds, right?
Yeah.
Off the cliff into the water, in the way of the vampire coming at her, slower than he can get down to her. It's just weird.
Wolves.
Yeah. It broke my immersion a little bit because I was enjoying the trashiness of the movie, and then it was just like
in Breaking Dawn Part 2, and I can't wait to get to the plot hole in Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Anyway.
You're gonna be so mad about it. You might already know about it because you've seen them all already.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I've already forgotten.
yeah, I'm gonna forget about it next month.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Where were we? Where are we
I
in
just
this
want to talk
movie?
a little bit about music and then how the critics thought of this, and then what we all thought of it, and then I want to talk about the Quileute tribe, the actual tribe.
Okay, great.
But first, let's talk about the music. So, Alexandra Desplat composed the score for New Moon, while the rest of the soundtrack was chosen by the music supervisor, Alexandra Patsavas, who is the same person who chose the film chose the soundtrack for my favorite soundtrack, Twilight. The soundtrack is all original and exclusive songs, and it includes various indie and alternative rock artists,
Including Death Cab for Cutie.
Death Cab for Cutie, Meet Me at the
Okay,
Equinox.
Love Death Cab.
Yeah, we have
Go is
we
my
have
faves.
So good.
Death Cab
Oh,
for
and OK Go.
Cutie. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Band of Skulls,
Another
Tom
good one.
Yorkie, Leaky Lee, The Killers, Anya Marina.
Never heard of them. The Killers, I mean. I bet they crush.
I bet they kill.
I didn't say that.
We have Muse, of course. It's Stephanie
Muse.
Meyer's favorite band. You're going to find them on every soundtrack. Bon Iver and St.
Little
Vincent.
indie band called Muse.
Just a little.
Maybe heard of them.
You might have known them. Yeah. Black Rubber Motorcycle Club, Hurricane Bells, Sea Wolf, OK Go, Grizzly Bear, Editors, and yeah.
Not a bad.
Editors are good
Editors,
too.
and yeah. Editors, and then. What?
Not a bad little soundtrack.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you like it?
Massive soundtrack.
Do you like it more or less than the Twilight one?
Less.
Less.
Marginally.
Less.
Less. I
'Cause it doesn't have
honestly
Paramore.
forgot how much I did like this soundtrack,
right,
or it would
Paramore.
have been on my soundtrack. My soundtrack list.
See also episode of the CultPOP Podcast Live. 115, I think.
187.
Anyway.
A recent one.
Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, police codes for murder. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Do you own this soundtrack?
No.
Oh. Do you own this
I
soundtrack?
don't. I want to. I do own
Jealous.
the.
Vinyl.
I own the
Two
disc
disc set?
special edition. And it has. Hold on. Let
It's
me
got
get better
music
lighting.
videos on it.
Yeah, it has music videos. It has
Um,
exclusive band rehearsal footage with Muse.
Oh.
And music videos from Death Cab for
I love
Cutie,
the idea that music
Anya
is in the
Marina,
studio
and
like,
Mute Math.
What the fuck is going on? Right
Mute
now?
Math isn't even on this soundtrack, and they're
Mute
out
Math?
here.
Who's not?
Mute Math. They're on the
Are they
original.
the next one?
They're on the first one.
Whatever. They were just tossing shit in there to
They
make
were
it
just
an
tossing
awesome
shit in
edition.
here. Yeah,
Box
that's
office.
what you get on this.
Let me see.
Box office.
Box
Box
office? Box office?
Box
Go.
office, box office. Yeah, let's talk about the box office. So theater showings sold out as early as 2 months before the release, and
Whoa.
yeah, I know
They weren't even done making the movie yet.
that was
Kind of.
me.
They were finishing it. Yeah.
That was. I'm not even kidding. I think that was me. Like I was buying. No, I would buy all of them. No.
Also, like
Fandango.
the trailer releases for this were so weird because they were still filming the movie all year long. So it was just like 14-second snippets on the Scream Awards
Yeah.
and 30-second snippet on the MTV
Yes.
Music Awards. Like there wasn't a trailer for this movie until like September
I'm
or
getting like
October.
excited as you talk about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm remembering this time in my life when I was like, oh my god, I got.
Any little sneak.
I got a little
Like, they sold this because it's the only one. It's the only release that had. It's the only video release that had information about Eclipse,
Yes.
like behind the scenes featurette about Eclipse.
Yep.
Oh,
So this is the
I see,
ultimate
I see.
edition. So,
Eclipse
like-
being the next one.
Yeah, Eclipse
got
is
it.
the next one.
Got it.
So yeah, New Moon set records for advanced ticket sales. It was Fandango. I can't speak. Fandango's biggest advanced ticket seller, surpassing Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. That's
What?
crazy.
Wait. Say that last bit again.
So Fandango advanced tickets.
Yeah.
It surpassed Episode 3, which was like 6
The
years
power
before
of the
that.
teenage girl,
Yeah.
like we were saying last episode, or this episode.
I say it every day.
That's true.
I
in the
just
mirror,
meme it.
in the mirror, as you put your hair behind your ears, the power.
I'm
of the
kind of an
teenage girl.
adrenaline junkie.
And I'm a 32-year-old teenage girl. I am powerful. New Moon set records as the biggest midnight opening in domestic U.S. and Canada box office history to that point, grossing an estimated $26.3 million in 3,514 theaters.
I don't think it still holds the record. Also, there's no
No.
more midnight screenings. So
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I saw this one at midnight. I saw it like the day it came out, I'm pretty sure,
We
but
did not
not.
do
I
at
did.
midnight. Did you really?
I saw it
Tell me all
midnight.
about it.
I'm a bigger fan than you.
I
Well, I'm
was-
not bigger, better.
You told
I'm not
Wait.
a bigger fan, but I'm a better.
Wait, sassy JD.
you told us last time one of your best friends was obsessed, so you guys all went to all of them.
me and Becky and Sushan. Yeah, this and the Harry Potter films. We would each read the books and then
Harry
go
Potter,
to
I went to midnight for.
the
But I
midnights.
was older when the last few came out, so I could get myself places.
Yeah.
My parents were like, "We'll drive you 4 hours to go see this with your cousin, but we're not going to get you there at midnight."
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Fair
I did find this really interesting. A lot of the box office records were jockeyed back and forth between Twilight and Harry Potter for like a 3-year span because the Twilight movies were coming out annually and the Harry Potter movies were like every other year. So they would basically just be like trading off box office records between these two movies.
Yeah, my two main franchises growing up were Twilight and Harry Potter, and I
Both have aged
It's nice
incredibly
that we can
well.
still have this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Aged
No,
incredibly
Stephanie
well.
Meyer's not like transphobic now, is she?
I mean, she's
She
a
hasn't
procreator,
tweeted about it.
Perfect. Done.
Yeah.
She is.
All good.
She wins.
All good.
She hasn't
creators
written
as
a
they
4,000
age,
word
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Some other records are crushed by Hunger Games a year after
Yeah.
Twilight ends. Yeah.
Oh, are we going to do the Hunger Games next?
Maybe. But
I
did
just
put in
bought
here-
a new book came out. I
Hang
just
on.
bought it.
Nice.
I like this.
My God,
if you
I love
think
Hunger
if you think about like 2007 to 14, 2000.
These are my Hunger
bought it.
Games.
Wait, hang on. So real quick,
What is this?
this wolf.
I just bought it.
No,
Angry.
Angry Wolves buy books. Yeah. Angry Wolves.
This is very much has to be the visual media.
Buy
If people are
books.
listening to audio, they're not going to get this.
I don't care. Watch it. No, I thought this was really cool. There's like a 10-year span where everything was YA inspired supernatural
Yeah.
or sci-fi. The Divergence, the Divergent shit hosts,
read
these Hunger Games. Maze Runner. Literally anything with teenagers in peril was a franchise.
Yeah. And I ate.
I love Teenagers in Peril, man.
I was starting like Hunger Games. I was like I was on the older end of like the main fans, but like the other like Divergent I read. And again, it was the same thing as like Percy Jackson, which I've talked about before. It was like my younger sister was getting into them. So like I'd read them too and we'd talk about them. We both, she pre-ordered the new Hunger Games book too. I bought it and I'm very excited to start
My
it.
favorite Teenagers in Peril, Final Destinations.
Oh yeah.
There's a new one
Because
coming out
most
this year.
of them die.
My favorite Teenagers in Peril are Scream.
Ah, fuck.
And maybe
it might
Nightmare
be
on Elm
Scream.
Street.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
You're gonna say you're a bigger Twilight fan than me. I'm gonna come for you.
Touche, salesman. All right.
My favorite Teenagers in Peril are all the after school specials that used to be on TV.
Nice.
You know,
Degrassi.
kids. Yeah, Degrassi. Actually, yeah, that's a good answer. Degrassi. Next generation though. The older one's boring.
Yeah.
I've never
that the one with
digressed a
Drake?
single time.
You never Degrassed?
No. Next, what are we doing?
Go.
Total
YA.
numbers. So box office wise, 296 domestic, 413 international, $711 million globally on a $50 million budget. So not only in the first weekend did they like triple
shit.
their money,
Yeah.
but it just went on. And then like even more so, like this doesn't exist anymore because physical media doesn't sell as much. But like there were midnight parties for the DVD and Blu-ray release.
Oh, I forgot to mention. I'm so sorry.
No.
We already went over the music bits, but at Hot Topics for the soundtrack,
Yes.
There's only one of them.
soundtrack.
No, Hot Topic.
Only one Hot Topic.
Oh, at
All of them
multiple Hot
at
Topics?
multiple locations of Hot Topic.
I thought you were an old man being like, you know, the Hot Topics. We're going to go to the
yes.
Hot Topics.
the hottest of topics. You know the store.
I know, it's like we throw plural. When we get older, we throw plurals on things that don't. Yeah, Chipotle's and yeah.
Chipotle's. They had record listening parties at the Hot Topics.
At the Hot
Do you
Topics
shop
store.
at that Hot Topics?
Yeah.
You know the Nikes,
for the movie The Twilights.
the Twilights.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here
See,
It is from
Yeah.
a Hot Topics.
that's the Hot Topics shit.
yeah,
So the release of the DVD. Look, I just thought it was cool that like in the first day it sold like 4 million units. As of 2012 was the last time they recorded the numbers. Just the DVD sales grossed $185 million and sold almost 9 million DVDs.
Yeah.
So that is what the industry is missing now because there's no like the secondary markets are just streaming
Yeah.
as opposed to making 3 or 4 times your budget by releasing it on DVD or Blu-ray or physical media afterwards.
Physical media,
Yeah.
baby.
I thought it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Critical response. Would you like to do this? You want to do
No,
this?
go for
All right.
it.
I'll do it.
So
Both of you at the same time. Go.
It runs the gamut a little bit. The critical response, it's more negative than positive in regards to the critical response.
Yeah. We
But-
saw that with the.
Yeah, with the scores, 28% and 61%.
Mm-hmm,
So I grabbed a splattering of some like more notable ones, which a sloppy, moist splattering of.
Yeah. Slopping.
Slopping or popping.
The Cleveland Scene described the film as entertaining fantasy and noted that it has a stronger visual look than Twilight and does a better job with its action scenes while still keeping the focus on the central love triangle.
And
And mildly positive.
Jordan Mincer from Variety stated, Stewart is the heart and soul of the film, and added that she gives both weight and depth to dialogue that would sound like typical chick-lit blather in the mouth of a less engaging actress, and she makes Bella's psychological wounds seem like the real deal.
Chick lit. Oh, man.
Blather. Although,
Hang on.
props on blather. Well done, Jordan Mincer.
No,
This is also almost 20 years ago.
I don't care.
You were blathering.
There's a lot of like love for Stewart that she like holds it down. I know you don't really care for her, but
Do not.
But I think she crushes this movie.
Cool.
Yeah, like the screaming nightmares.
Yes.
I
The screaming was
disliked this character because she was so good
Yeah.
in this movie, and it
She
like
was,
I don't want to impose that on the actress. Like
you
People
disliked.
conflate her with Bella, but
She
she's
was-
playing Bella.
she
Like,
did
that's
this
just the
so
character.
well. I actively disliked her choices, like the character. She did it so well. I disliked the character
Gotcha.
because it was annoying, but
Yes.
she crushed it.
Okay.
At being annoying. Mike LaSalle from the San Francisco Chronicle responded with the movie more mixed, stating, "Expect this film to satisfy its fans. Everybody else, get ready for a bizarre soap opera pageant consisting of a succession of static scenes with characters leaping into frame to announce loping into
frame.
frame to announce exactly what they're thinking."
That's just. I'm sorry. I was also impressed by loping.
Yeah.
I liked loping.
Yeah, that's true. It is a very static movie for most of it, and everyone just says what they're thinking.
Except for that really cool shot.
Yeah.
Digital Spy gave the film 2 stars out of 5, praising Kristen Stewart for carrying the film on her shoulders and, once again, bringing plenty of soul to a character who might otherwise come across as self-indulgent, but was critical of its lack of action, ultimately calling it a draining experience.
I love how you keep reading all the positive reviews for Kristen Stewart, even though you hate
I
her.
worked out. My favorite, Roger Ebert, gives it 1 out of 4 stars. He said that it, quote, takes a tepid achievement of Twilight, guts it, and leaves it for the undead.
Oh my God.
So like he was
Damn, Ebert.
if we did his review last
Yeah.
time, he was middle of the road of like,
was.
hey, this is for every 13-year-old girl inside of you. It is good for what it is. He thinks that this one guts that emotion and is just like meh.
No, I felt
Here's a husk
the
of a
most
movie.
teenage girl watching this. Like, still watching it, I was still like giggling and kicking my feet.
This
like, a
was-
little bit. I'm
this
like-
was a bridge-
I'm like, ooh, Edward's back.
So
We
apparently
fight
this movie was
her.
a bridge too far for 55-year-old white Roger
And I was still like
Ebert.
giggling and kicking my feet. I'm like, ooh, Jacob likes her too. I was like, yeah, this brings out the 13-year-old in me more than Twilight does. Maybe that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Jacob
Team
is
Jacob right
adorable.
now.
I am
Like,
absolutely Team Jacob.
Yeah. Okay. So now I have questions for you.
Oh,
You both.
okay.
Hang on.
I know your answer was what? Yeah. Everybody do your Kai's. Get ready. We kind of touched on. You went to the midnight showing of this.
We know how this.
Had you read the book for? What was your first
Yes.
experience with Twilight Saga: New Moon?
The moon.
And how does the rewatch compare?
Butts.
Yours is the same experience. The first one.
First time, last time. No.
I think I had the same reaction the first time as I do now, which is Jacob is extremely charming as soon as he shows up in the beginning of the movie with the long hair and the big smile and the teeth. And he's just so charming
That's what
and
smiles are.
and handsome and adorable. And I'm Team Jacob all the way. If I can't choose Charlie, I choose Jacob.
You can't choose your father to be your mate.
His father or her father.
I mean,
I can
but
choose
you're,
her
hang
father.
on, you're in.
No, me.
But you're speaking as Bella.
Oh, okay.
In this, you're like, if I can't choose Charlie, I'll choose Jacob. Weird.
Yeah, a bit. But I hate Bella so much. I hate Bella to a crazy extent. She is such a nothing burger of a character, but then also is dramatic as all get out and doesn't eat with her friends. She stares out the window for 3 months straight.
I think
It's
she
so
probably went to the
dramatic.
bathroom at some point.
It's so dramatic, but it's also like, okay, well, it's a teenage girl having
teenage
an
girl-
overreaction.
Experiencing depression.
Yeah.
And as a teenage girl who has experienced depression, God, it hits.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've never been depressive, so I don't really have that avenue of experience. So like, I don't get that. So when I see someone doing that, I'm just like, oh, can you do something, please?
I was probably super annoying as a teenager because I was just like, just shut
Also,
in my
we're
room.
prone to drama at that age too. Like
Yeah.
I used to sit in the dark smoking cigarettes out of my window when I was that age. Like
My parents. So I spent the whole summer reading these books to the point like family members would come over and Alice would be shut in her room reading these books, and my parents were like, "You have to come socialize with people. You can't just be like sitting in your room reading all the time." I would hide these books in the bathroom. And then I'd visit for a little bit, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'd be in the bathroom for like an hour. My parents are like, you're either like very unwell physically or mentally. What is it?
I can't stop shitting. I guess it's physically. I make a lot of poop. You should see a doctor.
That's hilarious. But otherwise, I mean, but the dichotomy of this is that I enjoy this world, and there's so much of this movie and the previous movie that I find charming and fun, and I almost have a nostalgia for at this point that I enjoy the sit. It's a nice sit, you say. It's a nice sit. But I do find myself either laughing directly at Bella or being frustrated with Bella.
Yeah.
So
she spends a whole movie either pining for one guy and then using another guy to get distracted about the first guy and leading him on.
Wait until the next one.
She kind of
Leads
sucks.
him on so much as she's starting to fall for it. But hang on.
Yeah.
I don't think we should need to be depressive 15-year-old girls to feel for or relate to a depressive 17-year-old girl. My point being, I think maybe the book does a good job, but the movie doesn't do a good job accessing that for you.
Yeah.
Like you already just described how it seemed arm's length to you.
Yeah.
And you had to have at least been in those shoes to some degree to like graft onto her.
Yeah.
The movie, it's a visual medium. It should give us a little bit more insight to her internal struggle instead of just showing her sad.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have those shared experiences, what the fuck's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like it almost blocks you away from being empathetic. And you could just point at it and be like, why is she being stupid? The movie doesn't do the work in like inviting you into her headspace, which is, I think, a very, very missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I have had depressive bouts. I get what she's going through, but I also get that like unless you experience that or know that or are very keyed into it, she's being a brat.
Yeah.
Stop being a brat. Why get over? You know, like I think these types of media should do that work for hold my hand and take me in. Not I have to experience exactly like that.
No, I'm saying my experience is
And
purely personal.
But when people say too, like, oh, these movies are for, I'm like, they don't have to just be for 15-year-old girls. You are making them only for 15-year-old girls.
Right.
And that's, you don't have to. I think you shouldn't have to.
You know, and we're talking about Romeo and Juliet, the very obvious
right in your face.
The one for one.
I didn't get that. I didn't expect that.
I also hate Romeo and Juliet for the same reasons. It's so because you're 13 years old being the most dramatic thing on the planet.
But Romeo and Juliet has every character around them telling them and trying to explain to them that you're being this, or like at least gives the audience an avenue into this is not necessarily normal behavior. Like it gives them a mirror to bounce off of so you know the tragedy of it.
Yeah.
This is just
You were talking earlier about her friends and at the lunch table and how in the books they actually like
I think
gave it a good go.
I think they try.
But in the movie, it's just like, well, she sits over there now, and none of us are going to pay attention to her.
Even you said in the books too. Even you said in the books, the dad actually goes through an effort of like, why is my daughter having night terrors?
Yeah. She doesn't
but
remember.
In this,
you
it's just
find
like,
out later in the book.
Yo, I think maybe you should go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. What's that video of like someone's puking at a toilet and they're just sort of like reaching over with a broom?
There.
So I do think a failure of this movie, just the movie part, is not actually inviting you into her headspace, except only to see Edward when she's being reckless.
Yeah.
Like voiceover.
Other people trying.
They attempted with the emails to Alice that like failed to send. You get more of those in the book. You get
actually that was a pretty good device. I completely
I
forgot
like that
about
a lot.
But but also too, what she shares with Alice is just
the pain
it's like
makes
points.
her remember that they were real, is what it is, and that's also why she's sitting at their lunch table. Because
no. Okay, I didn't
is
check
that their lunch?
that's their
I
that's the
didn't
two
get
finger
that.
table.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Nice.
she's sitting
Nice.
in his seat
I did not
at
get that
their
at
lunch
all.
table
Wow.
because
You knew I should have watched this with you.
in the beginning of New Moon, Edward, he doesn't sit with his siblings anymore. He sits with Bella and her friends. And like I think so. I think he starts to like integrate with her friend group more. And then that all happens. She like drifts away from her friend group and she starts sitting at his table in his seat
Thank you.
to like remind her. Cause like his promise is you're going to forget that I existed. And she like does not want that to happen. Yeah. And I've been in a position where like I'm experiencing such grief or such like depressive episode where I'm like, I almost don't want to get out of it because it reminds me that like something that I felt before that was real.
It
and I've had,
validates your feelings.
I'm like, I feel like it's a common experience.
Well, you've been through. I've been through instances where I'm sad. I can't really articulate why I'm sad, so I will watch something sad to get it out of me. Absolutely. But I think it could have been better in so much as instead of. I think it probably does a good job of. I haven't read the book. It probably does a good job of hitting all the beats of the book, but it doesn't seem to, as a movie, explore the beats of the book.
It definitely doesn't.
It's kind of like a shorthand, right? So like Romeo and Juliet. What's another good example of just like young kids in love media? Anything? I don't know.
Harry and the Hendersons. I don't know why that popped in my head.
Romeo
End of the fucking world. What was that show? End or graphic
End of the
novel?
fucking world.
End of the fucking world.
Well, that doesn't make my point. My point being is that these stories are universal, whether you've been in that situation or you're in that time of your life anyway, because they work around or at least show you, reflect that this is not normal. This is just down the barrel hitting plot points, and there are really, really charming moments in between and really good acting and really good characters, but it's just like plot without the fringes or exploring it. I think that's, for me, that's what keeps this movie from being just like perfect trash.
Yeah.
It doesn't sell it.
Oh, Dane Z is in the chat saying Alice, Jasper, and Carlisle Cullen are going to be at Fan Expo Philly in May.
Yeah.
This Alice
I guess we know
might
where we're
also
going.
be there.
I'm gonna be away. I have tickets, but I'm gonna be away.
Yeah, those are my feelings about the movie. I hope I
What
answered.
about you?
I'm kind of hit them all.
Anything else you want to add?
It was
before we get into
it was very enjoyable to watch. It was very enjoyable to watch. I did not get bored. It was just I really liked Jacob. Taylor Lautner deserves more work.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's. Well, he's hunting werewolves.
He's hunting werewolves, as we're going to see in the new show that's coming out, where he actually hunts werewolves.
I truly believed his puppy dog crush, hating kind of his culture in a way with the culty other guys, to now being kind of immersed in it and not knowing how to articulate that. I was with that journey.
Being able to, like, physically unable to. I don't know if is that clear in the movie?
Yeah, it's a gag
like,
order. Once the alpha makes an order, like the pack has to follow.
Yeah.
You get into an interesting dynamic of that in Eclipse because, never mind, I'll talk about it when we talk about Eclipse.
Like, I wish you would remember the thing I told you a year ago.
I was following that, and I was invested in that. It was, and then the movie almost like pivots to, remember he's doing this other shit, and he said he was going to kill himself in this really intricate way, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's another plot, because Edward's not in this movie, and I don't know. I almost wish I wanted to see more Edward, not only because I love Robert Pattinson.
You should get
Hard
on a motorcycle.
eyes. I wanted to see him
Guys,
more.
cliff diving after that?
I wanted to see more because he is central to the plot, but he's non-existent. Like, what is he going through trying to stay away? What is he having to endure, or what is he struggling with? All we're done is told it. I know the midnight party
not
or
even
whatever,
that.
son
Not even
of
that.
hard
There's a different
shit.
thing. No, it's okay. I'm trying not to be like in the book.
Well, no. If that's constantly the answer, then the movie I think could show me more, because he is a non-existent part of the plot until he has to be, and it's rushed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, don't just tell me you didn't want to live in a world where I didn't exist. Show me you didn't want to be in a world where she didn't exist.
Trying to do.
Huh?
That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to kill himself. He thought she didn't exist anymore.
No, I understand that was his motivation, but the movie didn't show me
Oh,
that.
yeah,
It literally
yeah.
just tacked it on for
He was
5
like,
minutes at the end.
there he goes.
Yeah. Like, it was just, it was annoying. And then because of that, it made me overthink about the emotional maturity of Edward to degrees that bothered me. Like, we were talking about this off camera. He has been to high school 400 times. He's got how many doctorates?
I think he's gone to medical school 3 times. Carlisle's gone way more and is actually the professional.
I understand
but,
that he's
he has
never.
also attended
I understand he's never been in love. Maybe that he's never really had a girlfriend, but he's at least been around people, right? And you assume he's emotionally mature. The way that he sometimes acts, or the stuff that he omits, or the choices he makes, they just perplex me. Like, on one hand, you want me to believe that he's just a 17-year-old kid. And then in the same breath, you want me to believe that he has been crushing it on this earth for a century.
Yeah.
And they don't always comport in the same breath. And that bothers me.
This is a common debate amongst at least Twilight fans that I've talked to.
Well, we're fans now. We're debating it.
We're in it, baby.
Whether he is 17 forever, mentally and physically.
Can't be.
Or if he actually is like a 109-year-old in a 17-year-old's body. Because it seems like she picks and chooses whatever is convenient for
Stephanie
that plot.
Meyer.
Yes, for the scene. Like Stephanie Meyer, it's like, okay, he made this choice because he's a 17-year-old in a vampire immortal body. Or like sometimes he's like says things so eloquently and maturely and he has all this expansive knowledge. It's like, oh, because he's been around for 109 years. And it's like, okay, well, which one is it though? Like you gotta pick. Like,
well, that's a cake and eat it too. Like if he's a 109-year-old with a wizened old man in a young body, he's grooming and it's fucking weird.
Right.
And he should know better.
I can't get over that.
And
ever.
if he is smooth-brained 17-year-old, no emotional maturity, how the fuck has he graduated high school and done all these? Because he literally can't make new things.
Yeah.
Like
new pathways.
New pathways. Like if his brain just keeps healing. Like work around it.
yeah.
That's a neat idea of like his brain keeps healing.
Yeah.
Like,
It just becomes eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
Yeah. Which was the argument I made before we went live. I was like, oh, well, if he's 17 forever, that means he stopped aging, which means his frontal lobe never developed, like, which they don't develop till you're like 25 years old,
yeah,
right?
but then he can't do all the other stuff.
Right.
So here's the thing. I could forgive all of that if I am more emotionally engaged in the choices they're making in the moment.
Yeah.
But the movie doesn't do that. The movie just like rocks the plot and like, I made a dumb decision because of this, and I'm going to tell you what the decision is. It doesn't make me feel it.
Yeah.
That's why as weird moments where you're just in it and you're like, oh, that's charming. That's a great scene. That looks really great. Oh, and then pulled you right out.
Yeah.
I have an impossible question for Alice.
Try me.
If you never read the novel, do you think that the movie itself does a fine enough job of explaining the story, of immersing you into the story?
No.
You don't?
I don't think so. At least the first movie.
Wasn't very impossible now, was it?
Damn it.
No, not for Twilight. Because I remember, so I said on the last episode where we talked about Twilight, I actually saw Twilight twice in the same day. And I was like, I had mixed feelings about it the first time I saw it because it didn't, like, I was like, oh, they forgot that part from the book and that, like, explains this thing.
Yeah.
And then I saw it again and I was like, okay, I actually kind of really like this. I love Robert Pattinson. And then I was fully in. But yeah, I think if I had just gone in not reading the book and just seeing this movie, I would have been a little confused, or I don't know, maybe I would have just been Robert Pattinson. But
yeah, there's more. I think there's more to like than not.
Oh yeah.
In this movie,
Yeah.
but not even under a microscope, under any level of examination.
Did anyone
It doesn't
cackle like a maniac when she did the
please, that one.
yeah.
No.
So
I did.
they're in Italy and they're just housing up Edward. Just the other vampires are just crack-a-lacking him.
And you hear the like
Which is
he's like
kinda cool.
marble on marble.
Which is cool.
So
Yeah.
he can heal his face fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
But-
why when you rip them
Rules.
apart, you have to burn the pieces of the vampire. They kind of touch on it in Twilight. Otherwise, they will literally, if you just rip them apart, they come back together.
Oh, like the T-1000?
Yeah.
That's cool.
She does this brief, quick, like split second reaction to like, please don't hurt him kind of thing, and
They're
she
about to, like,
she
rip
does
his
like
head
this
off. Yeah.
thing. It dry. I
I
cackled
vaguely
like
remember
a
that.
maniac.
I vaguely remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
10
She-
stars.
Yeah. 10.
I loved it.
I
Penny Pretzel. I'm excited for the in development animated Twilight show.
Yes, that's the Midnight Sun show. I've talked
so
about it.
this is the one through his eyes.
Yes.
Okay. And then OMG, I forgot about Jacob's new show. Mm-hmm. There's the BRK. Hi, Redbeard. What's BRK mean?
it's fine. The movie was rushed because it was competing with Half Blood Prince and Avatar.
Is that why it was rushed?
I actually just think it was rushed because Summit likes money.
Yeah.
Like
How quick can we?
there was I don't think there was like let's fight Avatar by getting it out first. No, they were in love with the annual schedule of these movies.
Yeah.
They were in love with the annual schedule of these movies so much that they broke the second one up or the last one up into 2 movies.
They did. They
Yeah.
did.
Interesting.
Much like Harry Potter did.
Yep.
That was actually like a 1,500 page book.
Yeah, that was
So that actually made sense
Yeah.
to me.
To you.
But
No,
Hunger
I got
Games,
you.
the last Hunger Games being 2 movies,
Didn't need to be.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
off,
still
Hunger
love
Games.
both of them. I
Very
still love both of them.
Yeah.
Hunger Games. It's my Hunger Games arms.
Wait, what is it? It's wolf,
Wolves in
Wolves.
water.
wolves, swimming wolves.
And then this is
I bought a book.
I bought Hunger Games. I bought the new Hunger Games book.
Just any book. I think we don't have to
Any
limit it
book.
to Hunger Games. I bought a book, and then
Just generic.
not chill.
Just generic.
Not chill about the book I bought about
About-
swimming wolves.
Yeah, so I think this movie's okay. I love this movie. I love this movie.
Hey guys, out there in the chat, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Or Team
you-
Charlie.
Or
Can't
Team
say-
Charlie,
Hang
like
on,
me.
No. Edward or Jacob. Let's make it binary.
All right, Edward or Jacob.
That
Because
mustache.
some fucking crazy person's gonna be like Jasper. Fuck off.
That guy
or
sucks.
no. Kai's.
We know how this.
At least Jasper apologized.
For trying. It'd be nice to not want to kill you all the time.
Sorry.
At the
Oh
end.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. One line, and then he's charming.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah, so
charmed.
his
Because
we
the
find
movie
out
tells me he's
Jasper's
charming.
Jasper's power is mood control. So a lot of the Cullens, not all of them, have powers. Alice can see the future. Edward can read minds. Jasper has the ability to control like the emotions in the room. They touch on that in the Twilight book. They do not mention it in the movie at all. This is the theory that they have. Nobody really knows why certain vampires have powers and some don't. Carlisle's theory is that if you had a trait, any kind of trait in your human life, when you become a vampire, everything, all your senses become heightened, including like Alice in her human life. We find out again in Twilight, and it's not touched upon in the movies. She was institutionalized because she had premonitions.
Huh.
And so when she became a vampire, she can just straight up see the future.
Interesting.
And Edward apparently was able to read people very well. Like he,
Just intuitive.
he was
Just
just
like body
intuitive.
language and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, he was intuitive. So when he became a vampire, he could hear people's thoughts. Jasper apparently was so charismatic, he was able to like manipulate people's feelings. He becomes a vampire. He can just literally change the vibe in a room.
Interesting.
Penny Pretzel. God, they're both so terrible. But Team Jacob, because at least he's age appropriate and the imprinting thing can be dismissed.
Yeah.
With
With effort.
The werewolf kid is eye candy. Don't remember his name. Too high right now, says Pink.
Werewolf Kid works.
Jacob. I'm Team
Boy.
Jacob.
Shoot, what else was I gonna say? I have some thoughts that I wrote down on my notes app.
You don't feel them.
I feel them too, but I just needed to be reminded. I was a few glasses
While
of
you
wine
were,
in.
yeah, some
I
red
was a
wine.
little wine drunk, and I wrote. I don't have a Twilight essay for you from when I was 15 this time, but I do have wine drunk notes app thoughts. I just wrote October, November, December. That's how it starts.
Perfect.
The next note, and this is something I want to talk
Imagine
about.
yourself in a window.
Yeah, Twilight is a horror story from Charlie's point of view.
Absolutely.
His daughter has been dating this guy for a few months. The first time they quote unquote break up and get in a huge fight, she runs away, falls out of a window, breaks her fucking leg
Yep.
in a different state. This time they break up for a while. She's screaming in her sleep. He doesn't know what to do. She finally starts to turn around, and then suddenly she's in Italy
Yeah.
and doesn't know where she is for days.
Father
And then,
of the-
and then the guy has the audacity to come back. And
Right.
Twilight is a horror story.
and then propose to his daughter.
He doesn't know that yet. He doesn't find out until the end of the next one.
I hope he doesn't find out.
Yeah.
Again, I still love the line, "I couldn't live in a world where you didn't exist." I know it's problematic
No,
for
it's a
many
good line.
reasons, but it made me tear up still. I like how vibey the Volturi are, verbatim. And then it followed up with Jane in all caps. I love Dakota Fanning as Jane, clearly.
Where is she?
And
been?
Michael, I actually wrote Martin Sheen, which is the incorrect Sheen. Michael Sheen. At the end, when Charlie grounds her for forever, she goes, "Dad, you don't have to worry about me." Bullshit.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit.
Never stop worrying about her.
And I want to talk about, I'm gonna have a whole section in the next episode when we talk about Eclipse about Rosalie and why she is the way that she is and how I think she deserves so much more than what she gets, both in the books and just as a person. But the line where she says at the end, "I wish there had been someone to vote no for me because this isn't the life I would have chosen for myself," breaks me. Especially, we're going to find out in Eclipse what happened to her as a human and why she became a vampire. And again, wasn't her choice. And all about her just never having choices, both as a human and as a vampire. And it's just guts me every time. I did write, "There's more greenery for Noel."
Yeah.
This is something I'm going to deep dive in, I think probably in Breaking Dawn, either Breaking Dawn 1 or 2. The Twilight time makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense, but like it's insane. They've known each other less than a year at this point, maybe about a year, and they've been broken up for most of that. So like, again, this plays into like when you're in their heads, or at least when you're a 15-year-old like me, you're like, no, they're soulmates, they're in love. If you're a parent, this is a nightmare.
You just got here.
You just met him,
Yeah.
and it's it's crazy.
And you've disappeared twice.
You've disappeared twice. You were in a horrific accident.
Yeah.
Like she,
How long did it take her to heal?
Yeah.
That was a lot of healing time too. Yeah.
What? Why is she no powers work on her?
Find out in Breaking Dawn.
Okay. If when she gets
It's-
turned,
You know
does that
why?
make her
Because
superhuman?
Because she's a blank slate.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there to read.
No,
I know, I'm kidding.
They touch on it, and actually
Fucking idiot.
in Midnight Sun, it's interesting because Edward describes he can't hear anything when he tries to read her mind, and when he tries to read Charlie's mind, it's like muffled, and he gets like he doesn't hear thoughts, he sees pictures.
It's her,
Ah.
it's her bloodline. It's her lineage.
It's something like that, and
genetic.
But as opposed to Renee, is very loud when he hears her, and she has like, I don't know, she's very loud, and that's just her personality in general.
Who's Renee?
The mother.
The mom, sorry,
Okay.
her mom that we never see apparently.
The movies made Jasper look like he's 24/7 constipated, says
Yep.
Redbeard.
Yep.
He's not constipated. He's shitting himself.
Dane says Team Jacob because werewolves rule and vampires drool.
Hey, I'm
It's-
a vampire.
Oh no.
Look at my eyes.
Oh, I love the acting when Bella and Jacob are in the rain and he's got his abs out,
Yeah.
and they're both clearly
tattooed it?
freezing.
Yeah.
But I just love that it felt very real,
All of their scenes felt like I loved.
very naturalistic.
So
Yeah.
you know what my favorite scene in this entire movie is?
Please.
Well, that's probably a little hyperbolic. I was very impressed with the movie theater scene when they're walking out. They hold hands for a split second,
she's like,
and he has the emotional maturity to have a conversation with her at that time. And I'm like, ride or die, buddy.
Yeah.
You're the one. She's an idiot.
So you're team Jacob.
For now, I mean, if he becomes a
Let's see if
predator,
Who's the hottie who had to puke in the bathroom?
Mike.
Mike.
I'm Team Mike.
No,
I love that,
thought you
I love that
hated
guy.
Mike.
I do. He's
Oh,
that
I
guy
was like,
sucks.
I was like,
That guy sucks.
Dead behind the eyes, Mike.
Yeah.
Dead behind the eyes, Mike.
All right. Anything else? What else we
Yeah,
got?
I wanted to touch on the Quileute tribe.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to try and do like a little mini deep dive for each episode, and I'll try to make this quick. I know we've been going for a while, but I do think it's important to discuss that the Quileute tribe is a tribe of real people.
Yeah.
I read an article on Screen Rant about their reaction to Twilight, and as of this 2020 article, there's roughly 2,000 members, and they were obviously a very loose inspiration for this series. And there's many differences from the tribe's actual history, legend, and mythology that have been changed. So native mythology surrounding skinwalkers also provided the backbone for a lot of how Stephanie Meyer depicted lycanthropy in these books. Like they can change at will. They don't have to wait for a full moon. So Twilight does change the myth of vampire clearly to fit their narrative. They sparkle in the sunlight. They can still walk in the sun. The red eyes versus the brown eyes if you're not drinking human blood versus animal blood. So I'm drinking human blood, guys.
That was in the movie?
No.
That's why Edward has those golden eyes. It's the fluorescence eyes. It's because he's a vegetarian. He drinks animal blood. So when you first turn to a vampire, they turn red.
Yeah.
And then when you keep drinking human blood, they stay red.
Okay.
When you drink like animal blood, they turn like golden.
I wish that was in the movie.
Yeah. So, and it seems that Stephanie Meyer also took the same liberties of changing the myths of the Quileute tribe. So, but in making these changes to the myths, it has led many fans to believe that these are the true stories of this actual very real tribe. And they've often gotten interchanged as a result. And understandably, the actual people of the Quileute tribe are not too happy about it.
Yeah.
So the myths of the Quileute tribe don't ever mention cold ones. So they don't have any kind of mention of vampires at all. And instead of transforming into wolves, the first 2 tribe members were transformed into people from wolves. So it's not like they can go back and forth. Another controversial point was Jacob's tattoo that matches the rest of the tribe's tattoo. It shows 2 twinned wolves, one representing strength and one for solidarity. And this does have roots in Quileute's story. But this tattoo was designed by a non-native artist who borrowed an art style from an entirely different tribe, the Haida Nation. And the Burke Museum, which is an online resource that dedicates itself to separating the Quileute reality from Twilight fiction, notes
wow, there
that,
really is every kind of museum.
Yeah, notes
That's
that
awesome.
The werewolves in the series are often very overly sexualized. And they're also often depicted as very aggressive, virile, and just meatheads in quotes is what they said. Like, for instance, one of the problematic things they brought up was Jake, when he's starting to feel his werewolfness transform, he gets in Mike's face and threatens to send him to the hospital for being sick and wanting to go home. And other things, just generally, like, they turn into wolves when they get mad.
Yeah.
Even the example of Sam and his fiance Emily, he transformed when he got mad at her, transformed when they were too close, and
there's a read of that's not
pretty
helpful.
problematic.
It's not great.
Yeah.
And this, to make it even worse, contrasts very greatly with the Cullens, who have this palatial home, they have great wealth, and they show like extreme self-control in their instincts.
Except Jasper, he's a piece
Except
of
Jasper
Who's
sucks.
constantly shitting.
shit.
So
Yeah.
this
a poopy
doesn't
boy.
really help with Native American stereotypes.
Yeah.
So the Twilight series obviously made millions. It's
How many millions did she give them?
absolutely none.
In a list of 1 to
One, not even.
less than 1?
Not even.
Cool.
And so they legally weren't required to, but they obviously opted not to. But the money could have made a big difference to their tribe. Clearly, at the time of like Twilight's big heightened, they were a tribe of 700 members. And so what the tribe did is they would petition for people to support and visit the reservation. And for a brief time, they did see some revenue from when Twilight was like very, very popular. But then that popularity dwindled and it kind of died off.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was important to touch on the fact
Yeah.
that they are a real group of people. They're not big buff werewolves. Like they're people. And yeah, their stories and their history were taken and very much changed for the purpose of these
I don't
stories.
know how much money she has, but I feel like maybe it wouldn't be.
Make a library.
It'd be okay to
Yeah.
help them out a bit. I don't know.
Something I think is really cool. A lot of Twilight fans, including myself, had donated to. There was a Move to Higher Ground foundation fundraiser for the Quileute tribe when they were trying to move their reservation to like a higher ground. There was like I think flooding, or they needed to get to a different area, and so a lot of Twilight fans were promoting it. I saw on. I think this was in like 2020. They were promoting it on like TikTok, and so.
Has there been anything from her at all?
She's never commented, as far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know, if anybody else knows if she has and I'm missing something, please correct me and let me know.
She's not transphobic, but
Well, we don't. She at least has never
Yeah,
said
it's
it
true. We
out
don't-
loud.
It's true. Damn it.
She's savvy enough to not say anything.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for that. I
So it's-
I didn't know that.
So, the Twilight Saga New Moon. Oh, ratings. Quick
Ratings.
ratings.
Yeah.
What Out
did
of
we-
what?
What was the rating?
I forget.
Fangs?
Did we say
Wolf-
fangs?
wolf-
How many
Feeds.
blood engorged eyeballs?
How many constipated Jaspers?
How many constipated Jaspers?
How many bad wigs? No.
Oh my
Did you-
God,
did we-
there's
That's the next
bad
movie.
wigs.
That's
Did
the
we
next
mark?
movie.
Did we mark down the ratings from last time?
I don't know if we did.
I may not have.
Shit.
Yep.
Um,
Way to
What's
prepare.
this one?
Go ahead.
This is probably my favorite, so I gotta give it 5.
5 out of 5.
5 out of
5 constipated Jaspers out of 5.
constipated Jaspers.
I wish I could remember what I gave 1.
I think I gave it like
Maybe like
2.75 or 3.
I think I gave it 4.
I feel like you were 2.5 and I was like 2.75 or something.
I'll go with 3. I'll go 3 because I think it's a prettier movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
For
It's also engaging, even though it frustrated me.
It's got Jacob.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.
I'm gonna go 3.5.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a nice sit.
good sit.
Once you get past all of her like
Good sit. Makes me want to go to the Hot Topics.
All the Hot
listen
Topics.
to some soundtracks.
Let us know what you thought of New Moon.
Twilight Saga, New Moon.
Sorry. You can email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com.
I'm gonna stare at you. With red
Next week, what are we doing?
Missions Improbable. We're going to be
Missions
talking about
Probable.
our Missions Probable. Mission Impossible 4.
No. Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
Okay. Is this the one where he's
Ah.
like
No numbers.
on the side of the building and there's like a sandstorm?
Spoilers. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. It's in the
I didn't
trailer.
know he was gonna be on the side of a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
In sand.
yeah, it's sand.
That's a great sequence.
The building or the sand? Both are pretty dope.
The hotel room scenes.
Yeah, but the sandstorm is cool too because he actually has to use like GPS to run through the. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Dylan wants to go
Dylan
home.
wants to go home.
Oh!
Bye.
We'll see you next week.
And we'll
Bye.
I'll catch you later.